Welcome back to Scav Talk, everyone. Today's episode, we're going to be discussing the hardcore wipe. Last week, we were discussing the hardcore wipe as well. However, we did not have the actual wipe here with every little detail laid out before us. Now we do. And, well, there's so much to talk about. Giga, I need to know. I've seen a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about the details, but give me your quick 2-minute take on this wipe so far. I know it's going to be
Quick
super
2-minute
easy.
take.
Yeah, super easy for you to do. So yeah, you got this.
The quick 2-minute high level take on this is that I think the community it's really shown the differences in the way people play the game. Number one, half the community, or I don't even know if it's half, I'm not sure the split, but really disliked the way that they went about it at the beginning. The other half really did like it.
Okay.
And overall, I would say that I'm glad they've done it. It's certainly interesting, it's fun, and it's different. But there are certain elements that they definitely could have improved on, specifically the way that the transit stuff has been implemented and some of the things around the bosses, which kind of became more obvious as people kind of played it through and the player behavior, reflected the mechanics that we actually had in the game. But overall, for me, my personal opinion of it is probably 70% positive and 30% negative, I would say, in terms of what they did. It's not really outside of my expectation in terms of how they did it, because we talked. No, 70% positive and 30% negative, roughly.
My brain swapped those around.
Because there's some of the things that could have been improved on, but as we were saying last week, right, they were not going to be doing anything that was super hardcore coding for this event.
Yeah.
Because, well, event wipe is kind of a weird event wipe because it's some kind of test, and maybe they'll integrate some of this stuff into 1.0, but it's sort of a one-off. 1.0 isn't going to be this difficult, so they said. Or basically, that was sort of how they were talking about it. So that's kind of the overall thing. There's obviously a lot of chat in general, lots of people, lots of opinions.
Opinions and Tarkov.
So it is, yeah, exactly. So going right back from the beginning, it is a little bit unfortunate that. So we did our cast on, was it Friday? On the 4th, I think. Then we got through to about, nothing was really happening. So we were like, well, it's probably going to be at least a week, right? We haven't had any pre-wipe or anything like this. We got to the 8th, Tuesday this week, and Nikita literally just posted on Twitter, just wipe tomorrow. And everyone was like, say what? So and there was no pre-wipe. Basically, they got to the end of the bosses thing, rotating the bosses around the maps 100%.
Yeah.
They got to the end of that, and they went bosses on all the maps. I think that was at the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. They might even have done it by the time we did it last week. I can't remember. So we were like, okay. And then, the wipe's sort of starting to come. They boost up mark rooms by some stupid amount. And then that was the pre-wipe. They just went, okay, wipe tomorrow. And then they just pushed the button. It was like, what? There was no 1 ruble. There was no, raiders on maps, no, all the bosses in one location on Shoreline. None of that. We had none of that. It just push button, Dimitri, push it. And then that was it. So we were like, okay, we got 14 hours notice before the wipe occurred, which I think it's okay. It doesn't really matter that much, but it did throw a lot of people off, I think, a bit. So that was kind of how it began. People just being suddenly, or especially all the creators, just suddenly being like, oh man, I've suddenly got to rearrange my entire life around this thing that's dropping tomorrow afternoon or whatever.
Yeah.
And people were like, is he joking? Is he not joking? Maybe he's just trolling or something. But then all the team started reposting this thing, and the official Tarkov account reposted his. He said Vipe Zavatras. People were just like, what does this actually mean? Vipe, he basically was just writing how he speaks with his accent. So Vipe meant wipe, and then Zavatra meant tomorrow. So that was kind of the beginning of it, just a bit of a surprise and a bit of shock. And then they released the patch notes, where it basically said, we've got them up. It basically said what they'd said previously on the slide, a bit of the flavor text that came with those tweets. So it said, balancing adjustments to trader mechanics, AI, in-game tasks, experience, skill gain, blah, 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 flea market and everything else. And there'll be several stages of planned progressions, follow the socials to figure out what's going on. PvE won't be affected by hardcore changes. We've added prestige. The AK-50 is there at some point. And some PvE AI changes, and that was it. So I was like, we're all ready to do the, patch notes review for the hardcore
Right.
wipe,
Yeah.
whatever.
You're like,
And I read through
let's
it, and
get in there. You open up the
yeah, let's get
refrigerator.
in
It's
there
like,
and do it.
oh,
And I read through, and I was just like, where's the rest of it? Where's the where's the rest of the notes? Like, it's crazy. So pretty much all we knew about it was all the stuff that we knew before.
mm-hmm.
You know, I actually, going back to the thing previously, there were quite a few people. Like, heard so many stories of people, because this was the last wipe was the first wipe with proper prestiging mechanics, right? And people were like, when to prestige, when not to, and a lot of people didn't want to miss out on the end events, so they didn't want to prestige with like 3 weeks to go, because then it meant that if there was an end event for the wipe, then they wouldn't have any gear because they'd be like level 12 or whatever.
Right.
So a lot of people wait until right to the end, and then people were, Nikita's just like, hey, wipe tomorrow. So people are like, oh, I need to prestige now. Some people were like trying to find the last 2 or 3 items for Kappa, and we're like, oh, we've probably got until August. Some people were literally like ready to prestige, but they were like away on holiday. So they were like, I can't press the button. So people were like giving their logins and usernames to like friends on Discord so that they could go in and like prestige for them. There were people giving their wives instructions on like how to prestige their account because they were away on business and stuff like this. Because they were like, I'm not going to get back in time to press the button. There's no way to do it like remotely. You have to log into the game and do it. Like, it's actually crazy. So it caused like quite a lot of chaos from the prestige perspective. So yeah, we basically didn't really find out anything new in the patch notes about anything. So PvE was not affected by hardcore wipe changes. So PvE is like completely branched from PvP at this point, and they're totally separate and totally different. So the PvE is basically last wipe system. So they've still got found in raid on hideout items and stuff, whereas on PvP now you don't have to have found in raid for hideout items, we saw that on the slides. But yeah, they're completely different. And yeah, so we've got 2 new prestige levels which came with it, prestige 3 and 4, which, I mean, they look kind of cool. Am I going to do that 3 or 4 times to do Kappa? Like, no, I'm probably not even going to do prestige 1.
That's crazy to me.
But if people like doing that, then that's fine.
Well, wait, you don't have to do it every wipe, right? Like, you don't have to prestige again every wipe.
You don't know. So prestige stays with you, but like, if you want to get to the top prestiges, you have to obviously do it. Like, you could do just 1 prestige per wipe. So now I think a lot of these sort of hard playing, sensible people have prestige 1 time during. So 2 prestiges were available. There were a lot of the the full time streamers who did prestige 1, reset, prestige 2, reset, and then got Kappa again for the 3rd time. That was like the people who are the most extreme. So the most like ordinary players who are committed and want to do Kappa typically would get the prestige 1 and did that at the end of the wipe. And then this wipe, I mean, who knows? It's gonna be quite hard to do it, but maybe they'll. I guess their plan was to maybe do prestige 2 this next wipe, and then prestige 3 the wipe after, like doing 1 prestige per wipe instead. So I mean, it's up to you. Somebody's gonna get. I'm sure somebody will prestige 3 and 4 in this wipe. It's inevitable. But I just have no interest really. So they added the AK-50. I don't think anybody's got onto that task yet. I'm not sure if it's open. I don't actually know. I haven't seen anybody using it or getting it. I think it maybe. I mean, there's no way it's on PvP right now, so maybe people get it on PvE. But I don't know how you get access to it. I'm not sure right now. And like, as I was saying, like, a lot of the changes were not really to do with PvP, right? There's all the AI stuff on there was like, AI PMCs will no longer spawn immediately at points of interest and will instead have remote spawn points and make them travel to loot POIs, right? So like, all of this stuff is on PvE. These are the PvE changes. PMC bots will try to avoid boss areas. It's all PvE, which is, it's good to see them putting fixes through for PvE. There's a lot of people playing PvE, so it's good that they're maybe changing their mindset a little bit from whatever this is an afterthought to this is actually probably the majority of the player base at this point. The only other thing that they added was a stash auto scroll. I actually didn't even notice this because I was thinking, like, is this going to matter? So if you click and drag on an item, you can now like scroll it through the stash as if you were moving like a file on Windows or whatever.
Okay, it's like you
like
drag
to
it
the edge and it pans.
and it got you.
But I was like, I don't really remember this being a big problem. Like, you could always move it to a backpack and then move it down. But I was like, I still don't remember this being a problem. And I think it's because you used to be able to drag select and then use the scroll wheel anyway, which is what I always used to do. So I don't think it actually made any difference after like using it for a minute. And then you can't have more than 7 backpacks stacked inside each other. So they made that change that they said they were going to last time. So you can't break your account backs, and fix several issues with sound occlusion and add some more PMC customization.
I did see, I know it was an outdated clip. It might be outdated, but I did happen to catch a few clips from that burnt peanut guy. or something. And I remember he was like, opening or like taking which type of backpack was it? It was some newer boss backpack. Was it partisan?
Yeah, the little one,
Yeah,
the one
and
that's like
he
really space
was
efficient.
like putting the partisan because they're like a 3x3, but inside it's like a 5x4 or
Yeah, it's a
something.
lot.
So he was just stacking He was like, you could have infinite loot. You could live. It was just funny. Sorry,
Yeah,
ADHD
yeah,
brain moment.
yeah. So yeah, they've added these new PMC customizations. I know some people have gone crazy for these two new outfits. That's like the one thing that they added. Have you got a picture of them? They're basically the Hawaiian
Yes.
shirt thing. I think they're called Yusek and Bear Day Off, I think is their
Hmm.
name. I think that's their official name. And I believe they're yes, it's $14, and then obviously there's usually taxes on top of the stuff afterwards. So I know some people just like bought them straight up. Like I have no qualms with them releasing cosmetics like this because some people want to wear it and that's cool. That's fine. They
Yeah.
want to pay. It's pay to lose, right? Because like
Pay
you're
to
wearing
lose.
a Hawaiian shirt. There's nothing better than pay to lose.
Yeah, I'm all
So
for
that you
it.
definitely get spotted out in the woods. Are they separate? I can't actually remember if they're separate or not.
I don't
One
know,
for
but
each. I don't,
I mean, admittedly, these do look pretty good.
yeah, especially the
Mm.
USEC one.
Yeah, Usag one does go pretty hard. The bear one, not as good. I mean, the shirt's nice, but like the camo shorts, or like pants rolled up, like I don't know, it's just kind of like a little too much going on. This one blends in a little bit more.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? The shoes. Over here criticizing the fit over.
Yeah, so the patch notes basically had nothing in them. So we were like, okay, I guess we're just gonna have to like get into game and see what the deal is and see what's happening. And then we didn't even know at that point like which maps were going to be open or not. So okay, right. So we get into the game, right? Trying to figure out exactly like
Yes.
what is and what isn't the deal. I don't know. I think this is where the problems sort of start. I think is on the map selection. So they chose close to what we were expecting, but not quite, which ended up making things a bit weird. So they chose Ground Zero, Customs, and Factory as the starting maps, which has some interesting ramifications. Scav could only choose Customs and Factory, so Ground Zero wasn't even allowed for Scav because you can't. Probably because you can't scav into low level Ground Zero. I think I actually can't remember with the rules with Ground Zero whether you can scav into low level or not. I feel like you always scav into the high level Ground Zero, but anyway, scav you could only scav into Customs and Factory. So this is kind of weird because Woods is one step away from Factory basically, so you can transit from Factory to Woods now, but quite quickly it became a bit of an issue. Like I heard multiple people. I didn't actually do it that much, and I didn't do it that way. A lot of people, because it's the quick way, right? You go into Factory, you can go into through the office window, and out into that courtyard behind the office, and that's where the Woods place is. But you can spawn
Okay.
in there as well. And so I heard multiple reports of people being like, I tried to do the transit to Woods, and there was a 4-man just firing squad just out there, just waiting for me to show up.
Wait. So I'm so confused. Oh, because people coming from Woods to Factory would also spawn at.
No. So
Okay.
people were spawning in Factory, and then they were just like they just spawn at the Woods exit, and then they just wait there
Okay, and then
because
what's the.
everybody kind of wanted to go to Woods.
Oh, and that was like the 4-man firing squad. They were sitting at the extract.
Yeah,
I see.
they're just sitting at the transit because like it's the
Because
only way to get to
that's the
Woods
only way to get the
quickly.
Woods.
So
Well, quickly, yeah.
yeah,
Because you
and
only have
at
Ground
the beginning,
Zero, Customs, and
yeah.
Factory. Okay.
So Lighthouse is 2 steps away because
Right.
there's no other way to get there.
Right.
It was just it's just a bit strange. Like the streets is only accessible from Ground Zero through the horrible extract, which is like really annoying to get through.
So, and
And I
again,
think
there's only one extract to each. Like, if I want to go to a Woods extract and I'm on Factory, there's only one extract that takes me to Woods.
correct. Which
Like,
sometimes I don't mind. I mean, there's like a vehicle there, so it's sort of like okay, whatever. And Factory's a small map, but like I think Ground Zero should have two extracts or two transits to streets personally. I think Ground Zero like is the one that's probably the most fundamentally flawed because like I know things are blocked off, but like it's in the city. You know, if you're at
Yeah.
Nakatani or whatever, like there's no other way to get to like if people could just camp it so easily, and it's so exposed as well. I mean, to be fair, I actually didn't have any issues going there, to be honest with you. But it's really weird. But like I ended up doing later on, I ended up doing because I wanted to go to woods, but like the factory's a really weird place to go to woods from, right? Because it's just like, well, what kit do I want to take that's gonna be good on both woods and factory? I have to like fight through the factory office to get to the woods transit, and then oh, now I'm on woods. Now I've got to use whatever kit that was on woods. It's like a really weird thing. So I actually went round. I went customs to reserve because that's actually a really easy transit because it's just a military checkpoint thing. And then reserve to woods is not too bad. The lighthouse and the reserve transit are both practically in the same place. They're at the edge fence by the train station, on the kind of like lighthouse side. Like the lighthouse comes first, and then the customs one is kind of closer to the corner. So if you go customs to reserve and then reserve to woods, you can kind of bring like a medium range kit and just go around the edge of both of those maps, and then you're on woods, and then your kit's sort of sensible throughout all three of them. You do have to go through two other raids first, though, which is why a lot of people are trying to like just pressure force their way through factory. But like it's just a meat grinder.
So let me help myself contextualize this a bit better. So, because this is like, I mean, we're going through a timeline thing. Obviously, things have changed since then, but for now, there was transits and there was also your regular extracts that you could take.
So they made practically no changes to the extract system.
Okay.
For the hardcore wipe, there were some minor changes, like RUAF got removed from customs, so you couldn't just leave out of RUAF. You had to go to Trailer Park or Crossroads, so that doesn't appear anymore. It seems as an extract. I haven't seen it yet, this wipe, so you have to go further. But when the wipe opened, if we go back to the beginning, when the wipe opened, it's like, okay, you can only queue into these three maps. If you want to go anywhere else, you have to transit out, and to then combine on top of that, there's no quest at all.
But you could, but you could if you're on customs and you got messed up and you're like, there's no point in me trying to go to woods or what, or whatever, reserve. Then you could just go back to your hideout by one of the other extracts. Okay. Okay,
gotcha. And the same on all the other maps. So even if you're out in the middle of wherever, lighthouse or something, you manage to make it there, you could just leave out of a normal extract to go back to your hideout. So they didn't make any fundamental changes to that.
So it's just,
I mean,
it's just traversing to the place it's interesting.
Yeah, like lots of people have come up with other things, suggestions. I think like Deadly, and a few other people have said, if you get to a map and you extract from that map, you should at least be able to re-queue back into that map as well.
I guess. Yeah. It's very
odd. You go customs to reserve to lighthouse, and then you extract. It's like, oh, now you can only go back into factory Ground Zero and customs again. It's just like, well, what about lighthouse? I was literally just there.
Yeah, it's very odd because it's I'm like instantly thinking about the Tarkov SPT mod I played not too long, some time ago, and it was like I think it's called Traveler, and I mean they had more flex, but like the basis of it was like they took every extract in the game that was already set up because they're essentially just like hit boxes, one big hit box, and what you're in, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I think this was when I played. This was before transits were in Tarkov officially, like Tarkov's own implementation. But what they did is they took all extracts, scav extracts, the co-op extracts, PMC extracts, etc., and they just turned all of them into like transits, and it would just like load the next map. So you had like cool things where like I think on Woods, for example, the card extract.
Yeah.
That would take you to Ground Zero, and it was like a one way, or maybe it was streets. I don't remember. Which like kind of matched the like Reddit map out thing. Like there's a lot of cool things there. But anyways, and then the similar thing is Deadly was pointing out there is like you would extract from Lighthouse, and you could like extract to your hideout basically, and you would just like go back into the Lighthouse. It's just I don't know. It's kind of weird that they didn't do that because I mean, it's I guess ultimately they just want to make it challenge. I don't know. It's just kind of weird because then there wasn't quests, so it's like, why would I ever go to Lighthouse? Like, what's the appeal for me to go to Lighthouse? Like loot there,
Yeah,
I
so
guess, but it's just kind of weird.
yes, I mean that's kind of like the fundamental things I think. So it's transits, the questing thing, and then the way the bosses end up working. Those are sort of like the three biggest like issues with the way that
Hmm.
this whole thing went down. Because when no quests were out, it was like, okay, we got to play for a day or two with like no quests, which is fine. I was like, well, we're probably just A, trying to get geared up, B,
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
collect the items for the quests because they're probably coming back, and BS, you probably haven't changed them, so you don't have the gas analyzer quest in your stash, right? But you're
right.
probably
Nothing's
gonna have to
stopping
do
you
it.
from,
So
yeah,
just go and get the gas annies, right? And like in the Salewers or whatever, go and look for that stuff. You're going to be wanting to upgrade your hideout. I would say the hideout stuff. So they doubled all the requirements for the hideout. We haven't
oh
talked
my
about the hideout yet.
god. I'm
They
kind of,
doubled. They didn't do anything sensible. They just doubled all the
I
requirements.
see that stuff
But
like that is annoying.
because you can put the stuff in the secure container, it's actually not as like toxic as you might think, right? You don't.
Yes, but
Yes,
it's
you need a
still
lot of
annoying.
like defuels and hoses or whatever, but you get every single time you find one, you can use it. So it's sort of like okay, like it's stressful enough. I think because I actually disagree. So there's a few different takes on this out there, and I think like I normally agree with Hayes on quite a lot of stuff, and I think we actually disagree on this point because
Hmm.
he's like on team, which I get. It's another route, and I don't mind. He's on team like lock the secure container, so you can't put anything in it in raid.
Hmm.
I think that's okay, but I also think that there's a place for, um, I think there's a place for things being super hardcore and things being less hardcore just from like a game perspective. So if you lock the secure container, everything you need to find is all has to be found in raid. You have to survive with everything, all
Hmm.
quest items, obviously everything that you're actually going to use, and all hideout as well. And it's like that's definitely like a choice. It's one way you can go about this
Yeah.
stuff. But I actually don't mind like, and I've never really minded this, all the quests being found in raid. So you have to survive and do the hard thing, because the quests are
Yeah.
the hard thing because they get you through the trader progression. The hideout's like an assistance tool, and you get like the slow trickle of oh, it's permanent progression. Oh, I found like a dry fuel and I need like 6 of them, and I found one. It goes in my secure. So even if I die now, I get some level of permanent progression. I'm not opposed to that from a game design perspective, honestly, because like if
Yeah.
everything is like uber hardcore, you can get in a situation where you're just like, I feel like I'm not achieving, like I keep dying, I feel like I'm just not achieving anything. Like I know the game's supposed to be hard, but I feel like there can be different grades of how hard it needs to be. So I'm
Hmm.
genuinely not opposed to this, and it feels like the requirements are high, but every time you find something, you're just like, oh great, like I've got like my second vitamins, I can actually finally get med station up and stuff. It doesn't necessarily make it any. I guess it makes it a lot less difficult, makes it more time consuming to do the hideout. But if everything's in the same grade of hardcoreness, I don't know if that's necessarily like the perfect solution. I don't know. Like people disagree about this thing. But yeah, I mean the fact they didn't change any of the stuff seemingly so far is a bit lame. It means like certain items, ES lamps. If you want to upgrade the whole thing, a lot of people bandy around the ES lamp requirements, for example, and it's just like, oh, you need like 135 ES lamps. Now you need 250 or something stupid. But like people do forget that like a lot of the upgrades for those with the ES lamps are like Hall of Fame level
Yeah.
3. You know,
Yeah.
the like gear rack mannequins level 3. Like you don't need that stuff. It's not that important. Like that's
Yeah.
where most of
Yeah.
them come from. So they're kind of stretch goals for the hideout. So it's
Right.
like you don't
Right.
need to get 250 ES lamps or your wipes ruined, right? It's like it just isn't like that. So I don't. They should rebalance it, definitely. Is it an existential problem for the game's progression? Like, also no. Like, I think I only upgraded gear rack to level 2 at the end of last wipe because I forget to even use the gear rack. It's
Hmm.
like it's
Hmm.
just kind of inconsequential. Like it's useful if you want to use it, but it's not that important. So, but anyway, it's so the hideout's certainly interesting, but you can get your permanent progression that way. So it's not as bad as it could be.
On the
But
topic
yes,
of containers, I wanted to like ask and add also. Like I feel like if you asked me a couple years ago, my opinion, I'd be on like Team Hayes, but I think I like the way they're doing it because yeah, I mean it's just like in your opinion, have you had? I'm curious, like when you've gotten in, because the upside I see to this system is when you do get into PvP, it's basically full loot PvP outside of like hideout items, right? But like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like how value like is a med station level 2 really gonna like impact that much? Like it's just a time thing, right? But like finding someone's, really good ammo, I feel like because it's consumable. It's like more valuable. Or like if someone had a grizzly on them, like if the grizzly's in the butt, it's like consumable, but it's only consumable for them.
Yeah.
I guess you can make the same argument about the hideout, except that when you get a station, it's permanent, right? It's like, yeah, you do
Hmm.
consume the item, but it's permanent. But my point, what I'm trying to get at is like, I feel like in that sense, it's almost better if you like PvP because, like, yeah, you're not getting the raw materials to like get permanent progression, but you're getting like the consumables that they have, which is like, I mean, I remember one of the wipes I played where I got into like, I think it was the Woods expansion. I got into like a fight at one of the USEC camps, and like I just remember ATV, and it was like a 4-man. It was like completely chaotic, and like I barely survived, like 1 HP. And I went to loot them. I literally checked every single body, and none of them had a heavy bandage. And maybe they didn't bring one in their
Yeah.
butts, but I'm just like all their meds were in their butts, and it was just so
Hmm.
annoying. So I don't know. Have you like experienced anything remotely? Like, what's been your experience around PvP and like looting ammo, consumables? What's that been like? I'm just curious. You may not have
I
anything because you
actually
may be
genuinely
ratting.
really like it. So I've not had as
Oh, and the
much,
cash thing
like, I'm
too.
trying to avoid PvP. Yeah, I have tried to sort of avoid PvP because, like,
Reasonable. Yeah.
like, even if it's a 50-50, like, it's just the risk reward is like really asymmetric at the moment.
Yeah.
Most people have just garbage gear.
Yeah.
And if somebody's got good gear, your risk reward's even worse, actually, because like
Yeah.
you're very unlikely to kill them.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
it's like really annoying. I also had, I was just like, I had a real like just bad session. Not yesterday, but the day before.
hmm
And it started to go a bit bad in a few places. I had some like really annoying fights where like I was shooting at people with like BP and they just wouldn't die. I think like some people have maybe picked up some like good
7.62?
plates or whatever, and no 5 for 5. But that's
Okay.
like 45 pen, right? Like at this point in the
Yeah,
wipe, like everybody should
yeah.
probably die at this moment. But I was having like 250 damage absorbed with like 60
Dang.
damage to their body and stuff, and I was just like, how is this even possible? I think I had 3 fights where, actually no, I had 2 fights where they did not know where I was. I
Mhm.
jumped them and opened fire and lost, which was like really confidence damaging in one day. I had another fight where I got jumped, shot at the guy, but he absorbed all my BP somehow. I don't even know how. So I was just like, man, this is like really, really annoying. So anyway, and these people like didn't even look that geared per se.
Mhm.
They picked up some good stuff, but yeah, it's very like dangerous to be PvPing at the moment. And like when you have to buy your kit again, like the way that they've done it with the traders, it's like, if you sell, for example, if you sell like a 7.62 suppressor, actually no, the 3.66 suppressor, that's a good example.
Okay.
If you get that off a player, it sells to the traders for like 10K.
Yeah.
You want to buy that thing? It's like 78,000 rubles.
Dude,
Like
the price differential is
it's
crazy.
so asymmetric. Like it was big before, right? The price differential was quite big before, but if you go 30% again each way, it's like holy crap! Like the differentiation is now insane. So if I take someone else's gun, if I don't actually want to use it, you basically get like nothing for it, which is like insane. So I've been trying to avoid PvP. I've had a few situations where I'd like kind of had one guy. I was like, he was in my sights. He doesn't know I'm here. I was like feeling like really beaten down at this point. I was just like, I actually just don't want to pull the trigger. Like if the chances of me killing, I just feel like some random bullshit is going to happen,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he's not going to die.
He's going to turn around and just like one tap you.
Yeah, he's just going to turn around and one tap me. I was like,
Yeah.
it just feels, yeah. And I was just like, so then why would I shoot? And I waited and I watched him go, and everyone was like, oh, the trigger discipline. And then his buddy ran across the street.
Oh my god!
And I was
That's
just
so
like,
cool.
I was just like, I'm so glad I didn't. I was like, he would have definitely killed me because like I was in the shoreline exit, which is by it's by Smuggler's Boat. It's the shoreline transit. Sorry, it was the on customs. So near Smuggler's Boat, there's like that road, and now you can go behind, and there's a bus. I was like in there, so I would have been like pinned in there. So I was
That's
so I was just
cool.
like,
You got to
thank
see
goodness
like
for that.
your decision making play out. You're like, I know for a fact I probably like if my confidence level has increased.
Yeah, so I was just like, okay, well, I feel good about the decision. Anyway, so that aside, I have had some good PvP. Yesterday was a lot better. I actually did manage to kill a 3-man of like 1 Timmy and 2 players who there was one guy who was level 17, so he's been like kind of on the grind. Another guy was like level 12 or something, and then they had like a level 1 friend with them. I managed to kill all of them in Ground Zero, which was quite cool. That was a good fight with UMP. UMP is actually not doing too badly for me.
Okay,
but when you then go and loot these people, right, they've got like all their meds on them, they've got any cash they had on them, they've got ammo for their guns. So, you know, if you're like running a bit low, because I was running a bit low, I had to use one of the MP5s, but like he's got the spare stack of PST on him, you know, they've got the heavy bleed bandages, got like AFAX, all sorts of stuff. Like if that, for me, that feels way better, you know?
Yeah.
You need to
yeah.
sustain after the fight somehow.
Right.
And I was like, I ended up using the guys, because I kind of ran out of ammo, I ended up using the guy's MP5 to get out. and some of his meds and stuff. So I was just like, this is perfect. Like this is actually perfect. They changed the way that CMSs and serve kits. Well, so CMSs and serve kits now, they made this change after like 1 day. So they will go in special slot number 1. Not the others. I don't know why, but you can now put CMS and serve kit in special slot number 1. So that's good, because basically I think people just were not taking them. Like I actually had CMSs, and a lot of people were like, oh, you know, CMS, whatever, blah, blah, you don't even get them as standard. And I was just like, I think I got 2 at the beginning.
Because again, you can't put them in your container, right?
You can't put them in the container, and like I had 2 of them. I was just like, I'm not even going to take it in. I'm just taking painkillers to like fix it. And to be honest, I didn't have any situation. I was either just like dead or not dead. So I never even ended up like, I don't think I think I've used painkillers like 3 times.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, you know, and you can't use PKs continuously at the moment because, you know, we don't have enough resources to just like buy water continuously. So
yeah, how much is a bottle of water in Tarkov land right now?
A bottle of water right now is 20k.
That's not too bad.
Given that it starts at 12 or 11, it's not too bad. But like after 5 raids, you spend 100 grand on water. It's like,
yeah,
damn.
The early wipe
does really incentivize you to get the
water.
It does incentivize you to get the water filter up, because now that the water collector level 1, you can refill a bottle of water from 1 back to 60 for free.
Oh, that's right. Collector. I forgot they made that change.
So that's actually kind of clutch. I've literally just got that module built.
Oh,
and
stonks.
And so I'm like, oh, this is kind of neat. This is kind of neat. Like you could almost. I mean, I don't have a way to buy lots of different painkillers, but maybe I just buy them from therapists. Like I could have like in my, because you can't put anything else in the secure container really. You could just have like 3 bottles of water in a secure container and just be like painkiller just constantly on the water. Then
you go back to the hideout for empty bottle of water and fill. Dude, the hardcore efficiency. It's all coming together.
Yeah. So I like the hardcore efficiency. That stuff appeals to me. Some people don't care about it. Like there's a wide range of different people who care or don't care about it. I was saying this the other day to some people in chat. Somebody came in and was like, oh, I really love this like Keda trick you got. You know how much I love these like circles of crafting. You remember that one wipe where I was just like, you can make a Salewa out of like a tube of toothpaste or something.
Yeah.
It was like you could get like 2, you could do the 2 orthodontox toothpaste to get 1 toothpaste. You could trade the toothpaste in for a can of humpback salmon. You can choose the humpback salmon for a CMS. You could, sorry, not CMS, a car first aid kit. Then you can combine the car first aid kit in the med station. You can make your Salewa that you then hand to therapists to complete the quest. I was just like, victory. I love those kind of things. It's like big brain. And I found another one when I was browsing through for the level 1 weapons video, which I hadn't used until I looked at the video and I was like, this is actually sick, because normally you would never bother, but like what ammo can you get access to? Well, basically the best ammo you can get is like maybe 20 pence, something like that. I think maybe the 366 one is like 23 or something, but you can get PMM PSTM in the workbench level 1. Well, this normally doesn't matter, because by the time you've got to this point you have level 2 traders, so you can buy like better stuff anyway. But this thing is like 24 pen and 58 damage. So it's like a better version of like PST. It's actually considerably better than like most of the other ammos, except maybe the UMP ammo, which is
Can you put it in the Clin?
But you can't put it in the Keda. It only goes in the Clin. And at level 1 traders, you can't buy the Clin. You can only barter for the Clin.
So wait.
It's just like, oh man,
I get confused.
Really
which one has a suppressor? Is that the Keda?
So the Keda B is the suppressor one.
Gotcha.
The normal Keda you can buy at level 1 traders, but it doesn't have a suppressor, but it won't fit PM and PSCM in it.
Right.
The Clin you can trade for 3 Clin wipers. They've got that old joke still in the game, but you can't buy it until level 2 traders. But okay, so the PM and PSDM you can make it in the hideout from gunpowders, from kite gunpowders. You can make kite gunpowders from 545 HP.
Yeah.
Which you can buy off Jaeger if you unlock him.
Right.
Which I've kind of skipped ahead a little bit because
now we got traders.
Quest. You can't.
Spoiler alert: we have traders.
Spoiler alert. But anyway, so you buy 545 HP. I think it's 545 HP, and you can make kite gunpowders with that. So okay, so you can go from like basic materials to build yourself PSTMs. But it's like, well, where do I get my Clin from? Well, you can in the hideout you can turn a Keda B into a Clin if you have the master files thing.
Okay.
So you can buy the Keda from Prapor. You can turn it into a Clin in there. And you can also take them, because you can't buy the 30 rounders, you can take the mag out of the kit that you buy, and then when you
keep
craft a
that.
clin, it gives you another 30 rounders. So you end up with two 30 rounders out
Oh.
of the craft. You've then crafted the ammo, the PSCM, and the clin's like 1,000 RPM. And 24 pen is actually pretty good at this point in the wipe, especially if you're going for headshots. So I was just like,
Hell
oh, this
yeah.
is really cool. I was like, this is nice. I like these little loops.
I like
And there's
that.
basically like what somebody came into chat and was just like, oh, I love this crafting loop thing that you've come up with, like so fun. And I was like, yeah, there's basically two kinds of players in this world. There's like people who are like, yeah, I'm on like the Giga hype train with like all of this like crazy crafting stuff. And then there's the other type of people who like comment on my YouTube who are just like, bro, there's no way I'm spending 2 hours crafting for one clin and a bunch of ammo. I was like, okay, it's just like, it's so people's different experience with targets is always so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so where were we? So yeah, so no quests.
The currency, has that come on the major factor? Like getting currency off players, has that been like any noticeable impact in your experience?
So
From
you do get
times?
currency off scavs more often. You do get currency out of. They've still got the buffed cash registers, so you can can get it more often from that. Obviously, when you kill a player, they've probably got a stack on them for that. Some people have got it on them because they have the opportunity to do a transit, and if you don't have any money, you can't move any items through the transit. The one place that it really matters is when they added the quest back, Ground Zero, the burning rubber where you have to leave through the car.
Yeah. The for introductory quest.
Yeah, they changed the cost of the vehicle extracts.
Oh, it's no longer
5,000 rubles.
Oh,
so if you die, so I died twice trying to do leaving through the vehicle extracts, and that's like 80k down the drain, which has actually got a lot of money at this point in the wipe because everything's like incredibly expensive. That's like more than a suppressor.
Yeah.
For a 366 gun.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow, that's crazy.
Like, the money's kind of crazy. So yeah, sometimes you'll find people with like decent cash on them, because they can't put it in the bud or whatever. It's interesting.
Does it add to the experience? Okay. That's the main, because it's like, before it felt like cash didn't matter. It was like an annoying thing. It's like, oh, let's take the car extract. Oh yeah, and it's like, oh guys, I forgot to bring money again. It's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, see, that is sort of annoying, but I think rather than it going from like it's assumed, and so when you forget, it's irritating. It's like you have to be like very. It's one of those things that's now like top of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than it's a secure container back of mind thing. I think, and that's sort of the same for a lot of people. It's like every time you build your kit now, it's like, oh, I need light bleed, heavy bleed, meds, painkillers, a splint of some kind, and then cash, whether I'm going to have it or not. And that's now kind of become part of your kitting up process, along with equipping a gun and putting mags in your rig, right? Like previously, it's just like if you use that stuff, and then you just will easily forget because you don't do it every raid. Whereas now it's like becoming sort of second nature to like look at what the meds are going to be.
Yeah,
and the same thing with cash. So it's like, I always have a car extract. Do I think there's a chance of me taking it? Am I going to bring 40 grand? Because it's like a lot of money. Just you're not just going to throw that on your body every time, every raid. So I like it. I do actually like it. I think it's okay. And it's weirdly then it also means that you're not feeling like beholden to putting stuff in your. We've always been like saved from ourselves. We've been like, oh, I'm going to keep all my meds in the button, but because now you like turn up in raid and you've got like a can of humpback salmon and like a juice in there, because like you can't put anything else in there. There's nothing else that goes in there. So in the raid, you're just like, let me hoover up all these like various items for the hideout. I can put like the container's just like full of stuff. I did a funny one yesterday, which I had a tank battery. What else was there? A PFC dog tag and a packet of buckwheat in the container. And my chat was just like
battery or car battery. You mean?
Oh, not tanks, so car battery. Yeah,
okay,
my chat was just like, that just looks so cursed. Like putting that in that like slimline wallet and like I opened the two up. It's like the gamma is like half the width of the car battery. I'm just like, yeah, this like it's crazy. And then we literally found another one and like another one in my backpack, like just like crawling out of ground zero with like 2 car batteries with like level 3 strength. But no, I think I genuinely think it's good. I genuinely think it's good, and I think the hideout thing, like this is partly why I think it's okay with the hideout thing, because it's like you're still getting incremental progression.
Yeah.
It's the one place where you get a little bit of respite. Like the rest of it, meds and whatever. After a fight, you can take that from the enemies and use that to bolster your kit up. You get their good ammo. You get their obviously their weapons and mags and whatever, but you get all their meds as well, so you can sustain through the rest of the raid. Now that you've got CMS in the special slot, you don't feel like you're either just like unable to use it, or you're going to use them twice and then you're just not going to have one.
That's functionally a second container. It's like a CMS container, essentially. It's like your
Yeah,
container. Okay.
functionally, yeah. And you can also put Serve 12 in there as well. I mean,
Oh
this
wow.
thing, it depends if they keep this, but like this is going to be this is a huge buff to standard accounts.
Yeah.
You know, being able to
Yeah.
put the Serve 12 kit in a single slot that's not part of your
Yeah.
container. You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy good.
I'd be
Actually,
fine with them
it's crazy
keeping it,
good.
maybe like lowering the charges a bit.
Mm.
But I mean,
Yeah, well, they have done. So the
Oh,
CMS
okay.
is now 3, and the Serve 12 is 9, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Those are great. Those were probably the numbers I would have came
yeah.
up with myself. I like it.
The other thing about the special slots, which is quite funny, I actually did. You know, I've been talking for years about making the special slots more interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and I did actually like run up into an issue with because I actually found a signal pistol quite early
Yeah.
as well. Because like without quests, you couldn't unlock Jaeger, you couldn't get the green flare, and the green flare is actually really useful.
Right.
And so like a cool trick for it was if you ended up on Ground Zero and like Nakatani, you could like go across, grab the green flare from the mirror extract, and then just leave out of Emacom. So you didn't actually end up using it. So you can keep that in your special slot, or like if you spawn there, you can
So
just
wait,
run
wait,
over
wait.
and grab it.
You okay? Just to get the streets. What extract do you take? That's the
The
transit
streets,
one,
you have to.
right?
It's a transit one, yeah.
So why is the green flame important? Just because it gives you another extract
So
home?
it gives you another extract on. It depends which map. Like it's not as important on Ground Zero sometimes, but it was important early because there were no quests. You couldn't unlock Jaegers, you couldn't buy green flares, so there was no way to get them other than on like
I gotcha.
consistently, other than on Ground Zero on the body, because you always get one on the body next to Mirror X, right? There's always a green flare, always one. So you could, if you took that one and put it in your special slot, even if you died, you'd still have a green flare,
Yeah.
and then you could use that on woods or customs or streets.
Yeah.
Which is actually quite helpful. But now that Jaeger's open, you can just buy them for like 8k or whatever, which is like definitely worth it. But yeah, I ended up in this like funny situation where I was like, I've got like CMS in one slot, I've got green flare in the other slot, I've got signal pistol with the green flare cartridge in another slot, and then I'm like bump into a paracord or something, and I'm like, oh no, I can't actually take this because I've like my special slots are full. So we're actually getting to the point now where there's more things in the special slots than you want. So I ended up like leaving the signal pistol at home, and yeah, because I didn't need to. I was just doing it because I was being lazy. But like, yeah, because we're sort of getting to that stage now where there's like more things because you've got the rangefinder, which you can put in the special slot. You've got paracord, you can put in there. CMS Serve 12 kit, green flare, the signal pistol, task item, the markers, cameras, whatever. So it's like, okay, we're actually starting to get to the point where there's quite a few things. Like, I'd love a pair of binoculars that you could put in there. That'd be amazing. Like binos, because like, we don't have that in this game. It'd be. Oh yeah, the compass too. Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's actually quite a lot of items there. So it's like there's a bit of a choice there. It's quite nice. Quite like it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so timeline. We got the quest back. What else? Where are we at?
Yeah. So quest returned. That then unlocked Jaeger, because you could now go to woods. You did have to transit to woods. So this is why everyone was trying to transit to woods and getting, stomped on factory. I went the other way. I went customs reserve woods with the best kit that I had that I'd found, which was RFB. I mean, honestly, it's a pretty sick kit for early wipe, actually. RFB with the M80 from the EOD starter kit. 20 round mag came in the RFB. I found a Night Force 30mm ring, and I found a SIG Tango 6T. So I was like cruising around reserve, woods and customs with like M80 in an RFB with a 1-6. Which I was like, man, like I sniped somebody off the roof of one of the reserve pawn buildings. Because like everyone's just like wandering around, like no one's expecting to get LPVO'd. And I was just like, and just shot this guy straight off the rooftop, which was pretty fun. I actually only ended up. It was funny. I did like customs to reserve and to woods, and in that entire time, I literally only fired one round, which is that one round at that one guy, which kind of tells you the kind of the extent of the PvP. But anyway, so with the quest back, you could go to woods, you could go and get Jaeger. Go and get Jaeger's letter, but despite the quest being back, a lot of them are actually still locked, which is interesting. Ref is locked, so you can't do Easy Money Part 1. So you can't actually get him as a trader, which is probably good. And then outside of that, lots of other quests are locked too. You seemingly can't do anything on Shoreline. Anything to do with Shoreline, Reserve, and Interchange is not open. So you can't do Friend from the West. So you can't get onto Peacekeeper. So even though there are tasks, you're kind of limited in what you're able to do. So in a similar vein as the traders are locked still.
Friend from the West? Why?
No, so Friend from the West, it just doesn't open up. So the quests will only let you progress to a certain point. Some of the guys who are like,
so they're like gating,
grinding hard, they're gating the quest. Some of the guys who are grinding hard are like run out of quests to do.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the furthest you can get is to Shootable in Heaven. So mechanics opened up through farming. You can do Shootable in Heaven in theory. I did see some people who have completed Shootable in Heaven already, which is like absolutely outrageous. But
that is crazy.
But yeah, so there's only so many that you could do at the moment, which is interesting. It's interesting, and all the traders are still level 1 because you need to be. They've added you need to be player level 80 in order to get to level 2 traders. So it's still on level 1 traders. You can do the quest, which is it's good, honestly. I just wish I think the reason why it didn't really work when it first opened up was the map selection was a little weird, and then with there being no quests, it kind of felt like there was. This is kind of where I was talking about splitting the community earlier. There's a lot of people who felt that they had nothing to do. They were like, I don't want to just play with like no goal. I don't want to just like sandbox it. And there was other people who were just like, I was forged in DayZ. This is what I was made for. You know, it's like it was like two very distinct groups of people, and people are like, what are we even playing for? Like, what am I doing this for? I'm just like, well, look, the quests are gonna come, so just like play for the quest items, and you're getting geared up, and try to give yourself a good head start, like do the hideout, whatever. But like, there's a lot of people who just didn't really like that. I think BSG could have done with having some like hardcore quests at the beginning to do with transits or whatever, to just tide people over into the main quest before they release the main quests, because it's a double-edged sword thing. Like, I did also find myself being like, oh, it's just like I don't really want to play Ground Zero anymore because Ground Zero is just an annoying map. I don't really want to play factory, so like I'm just playing customs over and over again. And even if you go like, oh, I'm going to do the transit, like half the time, by the time you get to, unless you spawn next to the transit and leave straight away, which is its own boring technical thing of like 5-minute queue into customs, the transit takes a minute to open, you go into streets, that's another 6 minutes, like outside of that, so it's 10 minutes before you even get to play. Half the time you're like, well, I'm gonna go to do the transit, but like on the way you like meet someone, you kill a scav, you loot the scav, you got some stuff, you're just like, well, now I may as well just leave the raid. I need everything at the beginning of a wipe anyway, so by the time I got to the transit, I'd rather just extract. So and Pest had the same thought as me on this, which is like, it just felt like you were really heavily incentivized to just play customs over and over and over and over and over again, and it was a bit dull. I really wish they'd opened up woods and customs. The second problem with it was that the bosses were 100%, and I kind of wanted to set the ground first before we talked about this, because this is the second big issue. Because factory was open first, people were just like farming the living crap out of Tagilla. And then he's got like the class 5 face visor, a class 6 plate in his AVS rig. It was just crazy, right? Sturman is like way less of an issue.
Right.
Yes, he's got an SVD, but he doesn't have armor, right?
Yeah.
Some of the guards might have armor, but there's a lot of third party as well around Sturman. It's not that great. Like most of them are not that great. And if you wanted to go and farm Tagilla, you'd have to have transited through woods to factory or customs to factory first to do it, which would have put a real big like time gate on it. Whereas the other way, people were going like, duos and trios and just like throwing like 2 flashes each different way, killing Tagilla, taking his gear and leaving, and just doing it again. They're farming like 10, 15 kits an hour. Like, it was insane. And then you run around with class 6 plate, you're basically unkillable, right? I tried doing it as solo. I messed up. I had my PPSH on semi-auto and like didn't kill him that time. Tried it next time, got killed by someone with a shotgun. I went to go try and kill Kollontai with a Mosin, but then he like wandered out the door and killed me. That was the one I was having a terrible day. That was the day that I was like, I'm going to do some bosses, and I was just like, could not kill any PMCs, could not kill any of the bosses, and I was just like, screw this. We're just gonna have to like go back to the basics and just like take it a bit easier, because like something's not working. That was also the day that it was like 90 or 32 degrees, 90 Fahrenheit outside. I didn't have my AC unit with me, and I was just like dying in my office, like dying constantly in game. I was just like, I'm actually miserable. The heat really, really, really didn't help, actually, because it must have been upper 30 degrees in here, and like getting on towards like upper 90s in Fahrenheit inside this room. I was just like, I nearly stopped streaming, actually. I probably should have. It probably would have been better for my mental state. But anyway, it was funny for chat, because they were just like, we've never seen Giga like tilt before. We've never seen him like this. It's crazy. I was like genuinely furious, like at multiple points through the stream. Anyway, so the bosses thing was a real problem, especially for people just like farming. Like Rashala's like kind of one thing, I feel. because
Yeah, I mean, there's so
you have to
many.
kill all the boys. There's so many of them.
Right.
You know, there's third partying going on a bit more. Like I feel like the bosses should have been a bit more varied on the gear, like more so. Like Together maybe should
It
have only had
is.
his face mask, maybe like one in 20 times or something if they wanted to do it like this. And the rest of the time
Yeah.
it should be like shattered mask or like something else, and not the classics plate constantly. I know if people say like, oh, he does have multiple different kits. I'm like, I know that, but like he's kind of like too geared for being 100% and it being the only
That's
map you can spawn into, and you know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of weird because they normally, how they do every wipe, like normal wipes, is they'll put the boss spawn rate to like 1%. And
Mm.
then as the wipe goes on, they'll scale it up, which just seems counterintuitive. I mean, I guess the logic is, well, it's a hardcore wipe, so like we want to watch people die to
Mm.
Gilla when they spawn in, or whatever. Which I guess makes sense, but then like, obviously, at least, the next thought I would have is like, well, isn't this gonna like put introduce people to like metagame it and like try to gamify it and then loot the boss stuff? It's like, yes,
Yeah.
what are the consequences of that? I mean, it's like, I don't know, that part's a little weird, but just because their track history of it. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just like maybe the compromise like 50% spawn. I don't know how you like what you decide, but 100% just seems kind of weird based off the history.
Yeah, I think so. They've changed it from 100 to 70.
Okay.
I actually think that's kind of better because like at 100, you know they're going to be there.
Yeah, it's
at
too
some
certain.
point, right?
It's a gamifiable, like certainly gamifiable.
Somewhere between 40 and 60, 70. So like even 70 is probably okay because it's like, you check one, you're like, well, because that's the thing. If you check for like, let's say Kollontai, for example, you go to MVD and he's not there, he is at the other one.
Yes.
Like, and that information is sort of problematic,
right,
for a start.
Right.
Whereas it's sort of 50% or 60%, 70%, you're just like, well, he's not here.
He
might
be
be a good one,
right,
but he might not be.
and then that's where the risk reward comes in. You're like doing calculations.
Yeah, exactly. So that's better. I think that's a good starting point. But I do just think the gear should have just been scaled a bit differently.
Yeah,
they shouldn't necessarily have their like best stuff all the time. You should get better gear for killing them. It is a big risk to go and do it. You have to actually go and do the work. But because Tagilla is like uber geared, easy to find, in raid every time on a tiny map, it was just too spammable. And they should just like half of the problem would have been fixed if they just had woods open instead of factory. And then the second part of the problem, like maybe like tone the gear down a bit so you can't find like class 5. Like maybe they have class 5 on them like 10% or 20% of the time.
Right.
And the rest of the time it's like class 4. Like you should be getting decent class 4. So like class 4 is like pretty like great at this point in the wipe. No one can buy it from the traders. You can only get it in raid. So if you go and kill the bosses, like sure, you should be kitted out with good class 4. Like that's the reward that you get. You're one tier above everybody else. But like if you get a class 6 plate and a class 5 face shield, like literally no one can kill you. It's just like you just cannot be killed.
Yeah, because the other thing is
it's sort of too much. Maybe you get that sometimes, right? Maybe you get it 10% of the time. It's just like, oh, I've got my unkillable kit. And then you get augmented by some random dude and you're just like, damn it, I've lost it, right? Whereas if you can just get like infinite of these kits by doing the farming, if you're in like a big group or you're like super experienced and you're not just like molding and skill issue like me, then you can go and get like a million of these kits and just dominate everybody. So
well, the other thing that's kind of important there too is like, armor, absolutely. But as like a bit smaller note, it's like you're getting the ammo, like Magnum buckshot this early in a wipe is like scary. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess it's scary in general, but then the AK, you can get like BT, right? I know you can get BT. I'm pretty sure you can get
and you can get mate 5601 from Mashala, which again I actually think those are okay. It's like boss rewards. I think BT and M5601 is kind of alright. I think
especially this stage, like I mean that is like it's pretty good. Very good.
I think does Skilla sometimes have like a Golnick and stuff? I can't remember. I feel like he sometimes has like insane ammo, which I think those insane ammos, I don't think they should be on the bosses at the moment. Or it should be rare. It should be like 10% of the time or whatever. Like I think with those two changes, with those couple of changes, I think it would have been a lot better. So so for the quest, it's like hardcore only quests, not the main quests. Make it interesting, give people something to do. You don't feel beholden to do, because that's the one thing I did like, even though it felt a bit directionless. I did quite like not having to go and do all of the normal things. Like now it's just like ground zero spam for the first 3 hours of the gameplay, right? I didn't have to go there
Yeah.
if I didn't want to. It felt nice to be able to choose whatever map I wanted, go and do whatever I wanted. You know, I could go to look for gas analyzers and slavers, or I could go and look for hideout items, or I could go and look for ammo, meds, armor, whatever I want, right? Like that actually felt really quite nice. So if they'd had that, literally just even a few basic transit quests, like get to Lighthouse. Like it's just stuff like that, which is like made people want to use the transits, but you could do what you liked in those raids. I feel like that would have made it, that sort of would have made it better for everybody. And then with the Woods Customs Grand Zero would still have been a lot better. Tweak the boss gear a little bit, maybe make it 70% from the start. It's easy to say with hindsight because it was hard to. I didn't think the 100% boss spawn thing was going to actually be a problem, but it ended up being a bit of an issue. So it's easy to say with hindsight. But with those little changes, I think the beginning could have actually been really, really nice. The other part to it is this transits thing. There's a lot spoken about the transits. The transits is weird because I know it's about the the maps opening and whatnot, but like you got like lots of different problems. As I said before, it gets to the end of the raid, I feel like I just want to extract. I don't want to transit. That's number one. The second one, the technical issues around it are just like really bad.
As far as
obviously those can be fixed. Well, not even that. Like the things where people were spawning in together again, they fixed that pretty quickly actually. Okay. People were spawning in together as groups, which is like the old transit bugs were really annoying. Then they had the next one, which is we talked about last week, which is people just spawning very close to each other. Stankrat was like, I tried to tell him. Like he was like, I put a whole post out about like this happening. Yeah, people were fight. There was like 4 squads in the same area right off the rip.
So not the, because it's kind of weird now, right? Exact same spawn, but like Shoreline, for example, the Road to Customs. Someone spawns at the Road to Customs, and then someone else spawns like down the road a bit near the tower, type of thing.
Or interchange, you're like, someone's like in the corner, the corner spawn, someone's at the blue fence, someone's at the scav like yard duffel thing, somebody's like just a bit, it's just like, exactly, there's like 4 spawns like all next to each other. And because everybody was transiting, you couldn't load into interchange, everybody was transiting, so everybody just got like dumped in one corner of the map. So they did change that. Now you just kind of spawn anywhere, it seems.
Okay.
So there's that. So that I mean, again, that can also be remedied. But yeah, the technical issues. I mean, I had ones really annoying. So I got reserve marked room. I went customs to reserve. Did the marked room because getting out of reserve is really annoying. I went back around to customs, and literally as I spawned in, I got killed in two seconds into the raid by one of the Zavodsky Rishala brothers. Literally off spawn.
Yeah. I've seen the clip.
I was just like, what kind of people just like, it's hardcore bro skill issue. I was just like, yeah, I know. Is what it is. But anyway, but then the issue with the transit, it just kind of takes too long.
Well, let me ask you this. Well, actually, 2 things. One, what's the transit on reserve? Where's that at? I don't know if I've ever...
The transit's on reserve to other maps. There's 3. There's 1 to customs. So they're all in the... If you had Dome at the south... Depends on how you think about the map. If you had Dome in the south, because that is the right way round, even though it wasn't the way that the original map came out. So Dome in the south. Customs is kind of like due north on the right a little bit.
Okay.
It's over by... There's that little building with the weapon box in the... It's the tower in the...
It used to be a Scav co-op one. Is it that and also...
Yeah, I think it's... Is it that one or is it a bit further along? I think it's a bit further along. Okay. It's a little bit further along to the northeast.
Okay.
But it's up in that corner. And then Woods and Lighthouse are on the other corner, on the northwest side. They're over by that little low building. With one over by train station, yeah. And there's like 2 gaps in the fence. The first one is Lighthouse, and the second one in Woods. I had somebody tell me yesterday. They were like, I learned the hard way that there's 2 extracts up there, and the first one is Lighthouse. I was like, oh no, you didn't. They like accidentally end up on Lighthouse rather than going to Woods. But so they're both at that side. But like being able to transit out of reserve is actually really quite good. Early wipe, because you don't have Red Rebel. Getting out of the map is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I did not want to go into D2. Right, the camping was already out of control. I did not want to go to D2, so you can leave. So that's why I left out of reserve to go back to customs to then extract out of customs.
So wait, you left out oh my god! So you just did a loop-de-loop, basically, or not even a loop-de-loop.
I went customs reserve back to customs. Obviously, I died off the rip on customs when I turned back up because of the annoying transit system. But it was easy to extract out of customs, I thought.
Yeah.
trying to get out of reserve,
Yeah, that makes
getting
sense.
murdered either at the train station or
But I
dying
could
B2 or
understand
whatever.
from a gameplay perspective or like just a player feeling perspective why that sucks because you're basically choosing between do I want to do the risky thing, which is like go into the ratacombs of D2 and take the extract, or do I want to do the safe thing, the safer option, which is sit in the queue for 5 to however long minutes and then try my luck at customs to only then die to
Yeah. The thing is, I
an
mean, it's like
oversight. But
I don't want like the queuing. The queuing for transit's all right. You do get priority, so it does usually match in within like 2 or 3 minutes, which is all right. But you can't like interact with your stash or anything. Like we were saying last week about like why that's a bit
history's
annoying.
not too bad.
You can't interact with your stash or anything like that. But then the problem is that like sometimes you just get stuck waiting for players because there's some guy working on like a wooden hard drive. So you're just waiting for players for like 4 minutes, or like up to like 4.5 minutes, something like that. Like usually it's kind of all right, but it's just painful, right? It's just like, yeah, if you want to go, say you go like, oh, I'm going to go to customs, but I want to do the interchange transit, great. But you spawn at Big Red in that corner. You're just like, okay, well, it took me 4 minutes to get into this match. Now I've got to wait like they should just make the transit time 0 for a start. So you have to wait a minute for literally no reason before the transit opens up. It used to be 7 minutes. They changed it to 1. It should just be 0 because you're not going to have a fight in that first 1 minute for a start.
Yeah.
If anybody spawns next to the transit and they want to transit, they're just going to wait a minute and then leave. Like it should just be no time. The transit should just be open, and then you get in the queue, and then you got to wait another 4 minutes or something. But like even in the even if it's only 3-4 minutes per thing, and the 1 minute in between, it's still like 7-8 minutes. You're just like, I just want to play the game, man. Like just let me play the game. It's not quite quick enough. Like with the bugs, with the speed, with the seeming sort of like there's not really enough incentive to make you want to do it. It's just like, yeah, it's just a bit tough. So on that note, I guess I'll just like zip forwards through kind of what happened there. So everything was locked down. Quest came back. Then they opened Woods yesterday. So you could actually just play on Woods directly. Same as Scav as well, actually, because Scav was kind of also a problem. Customs was like the custom Scav queue was completely full,
of course,
which meant that you then basically
could you.
And I was like, oh, well,
you could only scav on factory, customs, and ground zero, right? Okay, yeah.
No, you couldn't even scav on ground zero. You could only scav on factory and customs. It was even more limited.
Interesting.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to bypass the system and I'm going to scav into factory because you actually can get into factory, and then I'm going to do the transit to customs. Well, the problem is, it turns out, is that half the time there's just no open raids. You end up sitting in a queue. It says preparing the game. So you're in a prioritized queue, but like if there's no games that you can get into as a scav, you're out of luck. You just sit in the loading screen for 10 minutes with the same preparing game.
So the scav transit queue is even worse than the PMC transit queue. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know if it was that. I mean, PMC transit is like there's no queue because it'll open a raid for you. Whereas like the scav transit queue it can be worse if the queue's like really full and lots of people are trying to bypass it, because it used to work, but then I think a lot of people started to try and bypass it. So then the bypass queue ended up being the same as the normal queue, but with like one extra step, because everyone was in the bypass queue.
There's too many damn queues in Tarkov. Get me out.
I know. So it meant that like most of the time I literally just couldn't get to streets.
Yeah.
As a scav, and I was like, technically this feels actually really bad as a scav. Like if you can transit as scav, it feels like you should. I don't know. I mean, there's not really any fix to it, but it feels like you should be able to get into a match if you've done a transit as scav. You know what I mean? Like to do the transit, and then it's like the only way out of it. It's like if you're loading in as a scav and you just can't get into a game, you can at least press back and like go and do something else. If you're doing the transit, you're literally locked in. The only way to get out is like alt F4 the whole game.
Yeah.
There's no back button because you've come from another map, right? You're still in raid, and there's no pause between transits.
Yeah.
So you have no alternative just to alt F4 the game, which, by the way, is still in the game. This is one of the reasons why they ended up turning the transits off. That's what's happened right now. So they've opened up all the maps because all the problems, including the thing. So
even if you alt F4 the game and you locked it back up, you would still be in the queue. Or it would cancel. Your scav would be dead.
No. So they changed this when they were doing Marathon because the transit system was so busted during Marathon when it first came out. Like it was way worse than it is now, and it's not that great now. People were going into Marathon raids. They were going from one raid to another. They would crash in between. So I haven't had any crashing issues. If you've got a lower end PC, or if you've got 16 gig of RAM or something, a lot of people actually crash on transit. People were just literally losing the whole PMCA kit. And it was happening all the time to people. It was really buggy at the beginning. So when Marathon happened, if you got a crash in the queue, you just extracted with all your gear and all the stuff you had in that raid. That has persisted until literally this day. It has yet been resolved because basically don't have a good way to square the circle between people actually crashing and people crashing it on purpose. So you can
Right.
go to any map on either Scav or PMC. You can go, I think it works on Scav. It definitely works on PMC. So you can go to any map as PMC. You can loot up a load of stuff. You can go to the transit. You can queue in. You can alter fall the game. You can crash the game in between. You load back up and you're back in stash. And like that was like breaking this because the transit system was being so annoying and people were like so fed up of it by the time that we kind of got to yesterday that a lot of people were using the transits just to get out of the raid normally. So you didn't even have to go to the proper extracts. You know, you could just go to the reserve transit and then alter full the game and like you turn up with it's like a normal extract. So it's, yeah, so the whole thing is just like not sound really. And that's still there. You can still do that now. And there's some people saying like, you just need, like BSU, you really should be turning off the transits because it's like breaking the map flow because people are like leaving halfway through the raid in the middle of the map.
One thing I never really liked is like you spawn at a transit and you're like, oh, this is perfect. And but like the gameplay is literally you queuing twice. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I don't know how you would fix that, but I just didn't like that as a concept.
Yeah, I know. It's just not really fixable. So now you can queue into any map. They've turned that on as of yesterday afternoon, I think, or yesterday evening. I think they did it literally just after I finished streaming. So now you can play any map you like because Nikita's said, there's been lots of stuff that Nikita's said, but you know, originally he was like, we'll gradually switch on features like trader levels, locations, and everything to simulate and slow down the OG gameplay of EFT. Like the post if you're enjoying the ride. And then he was like, we're actively working on solving crashing issues and loading times of transits. If you don't want to take a risk with transits, don't use it for now. And lots of people were like, yeah, bud, but like you can't actually play the maps that you want to play if you don't use the transit system. Like you can only play customs pretty much. Right. It's the only like non-toxic map. Like factory's fine, but it's a very specific brand of like Tarkov experience. Right. It's very different to the other maps.
It's basically the
Ground Zero again is also arena. Yeah, Ground Zero is also a bit different. It's another small map. Like some of the super choke pointy, it's annoying. Customs is the kind of only free flowing map we had available. So anyway, so then they said, we've added woods, added woods locations available for selection, but a lot of people were just saying like this is just not working at all. Like Stankrat did a huge like 3-page thesis on it. Like Thessaly, a lot of people replying it, and eventually he was basically just like switching all the maps on.
I think I saw one of his long diatribes posts that I read through at one point. I don't know if it was that one or a different one.
Yeah. So that's it really. I mean, transit's a cool idea in theory. In practice, even if they manage to make it so it never crashes,
right?
The spawns work sensibly,
and
is not like super toxic. And like I don't know, maybe they reduce the transit time to 0. I just don't know how they're going to fundamentally fix this like double queuing thing because it's just not a great experience.
Double queuing meaning I don't know if I understand that.
Just doing the you spawn into customs and you want to transit to exchange, you spawn immediately in the place and you have to just queue again.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I was because like
fix that.
This is the thing about Tarkov SPT is because it's a single play experience, you have so much more flexibility. So like basically,
and there's no queue.
Yeah, I mean that definitely your time to load the maps are a lot shorter. But basically, how they did it was like it was logistical. Like if I took this extract to a map, it would spit me out at this this extract every time. So like if I took the road to customs extract on Shoreline, then I would pop out at like the boat extract every single time. However, you obviously can't do that in multiplayer because then you're going to be spawning with people. So it's like, how do you? And I think the only thing I was thinking like you could like kind of like there isn't like a simple flip of the switch, but you could do something to where like you have like a special flare and like you shoot it and then you wait and then helicopter sound.jpg or .mp3 plays and then boom, you're out and then you pick a map, and now you're transiting, and then you basically function as a normal queue. You know what I mean? It's just like nothing
Mm,
too crazy. The gimmick, the gameplay incentive is like you gotta like find the spot. It's like someone calling an airdrop. It's a similar thing. So now you gotta like defend against it. Maybe that wouldn't be that good because then people were just gonna wait till the last minute of the raid. I'm not really, but that was like the only thing I could think of because otherwise, yeah, you're kind of very limited by what we have now. And if that's all you can work with, then I don't know if you can actually make it to a point where like how you were describing your experience with like the PvP looting, the cash
yeah.
and ammo, like it feels rewarding, feels meaningful, feels like it's adding to the gameplay. Whereas in this case, sounds like it was detracting. Which, on that note, I think that was kind of my big gripes. Like I was tempted to play, but I'm gonna be honest, I've just been like grinding playing. I've been so obsessed with Deadlock, I just couldn't pull myself away from it. But that was one of the things that was like kind of frustrating with like the hideout stuff increasements was like, this is like when you play a game. Sorry, I just caught myself saying the word like. I noticed I say that so much. Anyways, like when you play a game and you there's a difficulty selector and you read the description of it and it's like normal as the game is going to be played and you go to easy, it's like, oh, you have 200% more HP and the enemies do 50% less damage, and then you go to hard and it's like, oh, you have 50% less HP and the enemies do 200% more damage. It's like, okay, well, this like isn't really like actually, you know what I mean? It's like normal was clearly designed in a way, and then this was like a last
Yeah.
minute tacked on experience, you know? Whereas like some games, very few, there'll be like almost like a separate game or like game mode where it's like, okay, here's
Mm,
new mechanics, things being added or subtracted to like, I guess subtraction could be seen as similar, but it like introduces something new, which they kind of do a little bit here, but namely with the hideout thing, I thought that was like the annoying part is like, oh my god, you just literally, typed in hideout requirements times 2x enter. You know what I mean? I mean, not really, but at the
yeah.
same time, yeah. So,
Yeah, this is the thing. It's
anyways,
like this very much plays into the BSG are going to do as little work as possible to make this, to make the changes in this wipe
which
kind
I
of vibe.
can I can kind of sympathize with because obviously they're working on 1.0. I like to think that Nikita and the team are like, hey, let's do, what would be a cool idea? What if we did a hardcore wipe right before 1.0 came out? Like, yeah, that's really cool. It's like, all right, who wants to sign up on the workload? And Dimitri's over there like, I still got 500 more skins to finish, sir. It's like, my workload's too. Nah, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean. So I can sympathize that with me. Okay, what's the least amount of effort we can do? That's like gonna be fun, exciting for the players and community, whatever. So I can
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're talking about like easy, hard, whatever. Like I don't think that many people have spoken about AI, but they have made some changes to it as well.
Mhm.
And I don't know exactly what they've done. They've definitely made scavs more aggressive. Scavs will chase you more
Oh,
and like
really?
run you down more, which is interesting. I've been like grenaded by scavs and stuff. They like sprint at you, and they're quite aggressive. I I have nothing to base this on other than my own personal experience, but I think they might have turned the scav aim down. I
Oh,
think the
that's
scavs
super
are,
interesting.
which is really interesting. I actually think it's quite good. And the only reason why I think this was because I was trying to do some testing to figure out how the bleeds were working. Because I saw a post by Terratex basically saying that bleeds now hurt you a hell of a lot more. Also, water and energy. If you run out, it really kills you quite quickly.
Hmm.
And bleeds and heavy bleeds, like light bleeds and heavy bleeds, are now twice as damaging. I think a heavy bleed costs you 120 HP per minute. So 4 minutes, you just die from full health. It's
Wow.
pretty insane. So I was trying to get one in offline mode. And when I was in
Wait,
offline mode in factory,
4 minutes? Oh, 4 minutes of heavy bleed or light bleed? Which one?
let heavy bleed.
Okay, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Go
like three and a half
continue.
minutes something with a heavy bleed, it will just kill you from full HP. But so I was on factory trying to get the scavs to hit me, and it was actually quite difficult. There was multiple points where I had to stand there through like 3 full magazines from a scav shooting with a pistol or whatever before they would even hit me at all. I didn't get headshot in testing
Really?
once,
Huh.
but they will run at you and start firing at you. That's exactly how the scavs should be in this game, in my opinion. The scavs are there to make noise, to force you to do stuff. I did get, obviously I got hit, right? They did shoot me a few times, but they should be there to fire at you, put you under pressure, make you sweat, complicate stuff in PvP. They run towards shots because you're in PvP and there's a scav now and they've got to deal with that. Like they're quite good for that sort of dynamic thing, but you don't really want them killing the player per se.
Yeah.
Shooting your
Like
arm out and giving you a heavy
breaking
bleed.
exactly. Them breaking your leg or like arm or giving you a bleed, like that's and especially if the damage is increased or like the penalties are increased, that can be very detrimental. Because sometimes a light bleed you can just like brush off. I mean, you literally can't have Propital, but
yeah, you can't anymore. So that was the post that Terrasex made, was that you actually lose HP with Propital on with a light bleed now.
okay.
That was actually the post that he'd made. So I was like, oh, interesting. So I went to go and look at it. Because I think it used to be, I was looking back, and I think it was 30 or 40 per minute on a light bleed and 60 or 70. Now it's like 60 and 60, 70-ish and 138, I think, for heavy bleeds. Like a lot.
Wow.
So Propital won't out heal that. You'll still take a light bleed's worth of damage with a Propital on if you got heavy, which is crazy. But I like the fact that scavs are like that. They should just be, they should be up in your grill, like going crazy, making life annoying, but not killing the player. You want them to make the player like deal with the adverse conditions that they give to you, as opposed to just outright killing you, because it's just not very interesting. It's much more interesting if they apply an annoying status effect to take down your HP, like make you waste your ammo on them, like running around like a pain. It's
shooting at
actually,
you. Now you gotta like identify the target. Is it what's the threat? Scav.
Now other people know where you are. Like they know that there's a PMC in the area.
Right.
Like I like it. It's good. It's really good. It's actually how we hoped that AI would be for a long time. And I think it's right. They chuck grenades at you and stuff. I was just like, oh my god, I could just hear like I was like, no, like running away as this scav's like hunting me down with an F1. I'm like, oh my god, these guys are feral.
Yeah, especially if they're like, their aggression chance or even their actual aggression's increased across the board. Like, it makes it really annoying because then now it's like, you can't just like run away from the scav, or you know what I mean? Or like they actually like chase you down. So now you gotta like, God, this annoying scav will not leave me alone. He's constantly giving away our position.
Yeah. So that's good. I think the AI change there is actually pretty decent. I like it.
That's cool.
I do like it. So whatever they did, I think it's quite fun. I was trying to do Tarkov Shooter Part 1 and 2 yesterday, and I went to Words, I was fighting around in the sunken village, the abandoned village area, and it's just all the stuff just like hidden in the grass, and I'm just like getting shot across the lake, and I'm like, where is this guy even? But like he wasn't, I think I took one heavy bleed on my arm. I got shot at a lot, and it's just like, where is this guy? Like, leaning out, like picking up, they do go and try and take cover and stuff. Like it was like a big game of cat and mouse. I ended up like nearly going MIA because I spent so long like trying to get into that 40 meters away with the iron sight. Like, how was that not a leg shot? Like, try again, like just trying to get this thing done. It was annoying, but
classic stuff.
That's cool. Trader resets were a lot longer as well, by the way. They're like 6 hours.
Yeah, I mean, another number tweak. What can you do? I wanted to ask you about player behavior, and then we've kind of touched on it here and there, but because a lot of at least when we talked about it, one of my thoughts was, I wonder how the changes they're going to make is going to affect player behavior, and there's been a lot of like memery going on about congrats for the 0 player wipe, like it's just going to be rat heaven, whatever. Like, what's been your experience? Obviously, things have changed. Like, I'm actually glad. Like the way I thought about it was like, I remember the prepper quest on streets. It's like go to the wine bottle room or whatever, find the wine. Like that thing is like the beat grinder, bro. I remember doing that quest when it first came out. I think it was with the new wipe and Ground Zero and everything, and it was just like pure carnage in there. I mean, there had to been like 5 bodies. The entire lobby was there. So yeah, I just literally envisioned I mean, that's how it is every wipe on Ground Zero. Everyone's got to get that key from the scientist. Like, it's complete ass. We all know it's ass. So, like, the fact that they didn't do quests, kind of a plus, but also I can totally understand people feeling kind of clueless. Like, what's like the larger purpose here? You know what I mean? Because the quests really are basically that. Like, your purpose is to level up the traders and become super soldier, 79 or whatever.
Yeah.
So, have you ran into extract campers, quest campers? Are people just spawning and sitting in bushes for 5 minutes? Like, what's that like?
There's a lot of bush sitting.
Okay.
There's a lot of people in my chats as well being like, just wait for the first 10, 15 minutes, let the map clear out.
Ooh.
A lot of people playing very, very, very slow. So one of the really annoying deaths that I had, I was trying to do, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was either Mark the Tank, the BP depot, or I think it was maybe that one or one of the others. I went through new gas station. The Rishala wasn't there, so he was obviously at dorms or fortress. I wander in, I wander around, I have a look through, I'm looking around in the place. And then I was probably in there for maybe a minute and a half or something. And then the guy pops out the office and kills me. I was just like, man, really? I had other ones on customs, people they're just sat in rooms completely stationary, completely silent. They're probably doing something else, right? They're probably they go to a place, go into a room that's only got one entrance, and then they just chill, go and watch some YouTube or whatever, and then they're like, oh, here's some player footsteps. I'm in there. I was moving back and forth, fighting scouts, and there was another player, and there was a player outside. This was in, I can't remember what building this is. Is it called Warehouse 14? The one with the power switch for the gate. And I was in the second room, the one with the sniper overlook. For ages, I went underground. I looted the underground. I came up. I went into the upstairs bit, wandered about, and I was in there for probably 5 to 10 minutes. And then I come out into the sort of the main area. I'm just like, okay, where are we going to go next? Guy pops out of the tiny little machine room with one entrance. If you went from the jump spot to get into gas station, there's the Portaloos kind of bit, but there's the car, the Portaloos. If you went from there and you walked into that building through the double doors, and then you walked to the end, and there's there's the sort of big door that gets you into the next room on the right, just before you get in. On the right, there's a little machine room thing. That's where the guy was, and he was in there the entire time I was there. And as I said, I was there for 10 minutes. He made literally no noise. Maybe he did, but I had no audio cues from him anyway.
Yeah,
I don't think
pretty sure there's
he was in there.
Zero loot there. I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, there's no loot in that room. There's no loot in that room. So maybe he heard me come in and then just went completely stationary, or he was already stationary in there.
Right.
And and then I was wandering around doing whatever, and then eventually after it calmed down outside, and I didn't actually see the player. I saw some scouts, didn't see the player. Came back in, blah, blah, blah. I'm about to leave, go somewhere else. Out he pops and kills me 10 minutes later or something. I was just
yeah.
What are you doing there, man? Come on. But this wipe incentivizes that because it's so brutal to lose your kit. You lose all your meds, you lose all your gear.
Right.
It's really expensive to get
honestly, for them, I mean, it could be nice because now they get your ammo and meds. I mean, how important is that? I guess they're expensive and not easily replaceable.
Yeah. Let's put it this way.
Everything's such a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I'm picking up single-use tourniquets and using them because they're 8,000 each.
That's crazy. That's insane.
So it costs you each raid. If you buy everything from Therapist, I don't have the game open, but if you buy everything from Therapist, a splint, a tourniquet, because it's both ways, right? Because you're selling items. I'm selling items to the traders. I'm oh man, I should be selling these. I've got a Tarka meat because that sells to therapists for 8,500. That's insanely good. Most of the stuff is selling for so little. It's crazy. It's you each item you sell, you can now buy a heavy bleed item. So because it's gone both directions, it's not about this thing. Before this thing was, I had to buy it at 7 and I sell the item at 4. Now it costs 10 and I buy it at 3. That feels bad, but it looks. I know it doesn't necessarily look that bad, but it's if I sell an item for 4, and then the item costs 7, I need to sell 2 items to buy one new one of some kind. If I'm just thinking about how it moves around. If it's now 10 and 2, I have to sell 5 items to buy one other item. So it's more about that multiplier, right? That's the multiplier that matters. So everyone's really, really strapped for cash. Which is good actually. It's quite good, but and all the guns are more expensive. The guns are
But
at
then
least
it's like,
30k.
but doesn't that kind of defeat like I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna feel really bad because you, like you said, you kill someone, you loot them. Like it almost disincentivizes PvP because now when you go fight a guy, you loot his gear. And you're like, oh, I don't want this, but I could sell it. It's a gun. It's gotta be worth a trader. And you go, and it's like, hey, here's your water bottle. here's your one
Yeah,
tourniquet and your half used splint. It's like, go fuck off,
yeah,
pal.
exactly. You sell a piece of food, you sell their gun, you sell their helmet, whatever, and you're just about to be able to buy water from therapists. It's like it's insane.
Like,
Someone in chat, other creators just said like cheese, tourniquet, bandage, and splint. If you buy all those items on their own right now, it's like 29,000 rubles.
I mean, yeah, that's
It
fairly
adds up raid after
expensive.
raid, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because
You do
you're
10 raids, you
probably going to
spend
be using a
300k on the
cheese.
very, very basic kits that you've got.
Yeah.
That's like no ammo, no armor, no weapons, no food, drink, nothing like that. No, like it's no extra cash. It's literally like like if you don't go in with those things, you get a heavy bleed. You will just be dead in 3 minutes. You have to take those items. You cannot not take them.
Did they double the hideout requirements for cash? Like Vince, doesn't
I
Vince
can't
cost
remember.
cash? That'd be interesting. Either way,
I think so.
your
but
money gets you less. So like
yeah.
if you're using
Which
it in
is
the
again,
hideout is like
uh-huh.
yeah.
It's again why I kind of don't mind the hideout thing because it's like, yeah, you are disincentivized to do PvP because the stuff doesn't sell for much. But you're sort of incentivized as well because like they might have their good ammo that you can't just buy that, like even with the money. Like money's restricted, but it's still the only like farmable resource. You can theoretically get infinite money. It's harder to obtain now. The multiplier is lower, but you can get infinite of it. I can't buy BP though. So if someone's got BP on them, it has no monetary, it's a different thing. I can't pay for it. So, and on that note, we should talk about, so how much do you think the scav junk box is, by the way?
2 million. I watched your video.
Yeah. So it's like 1.8 mil or something.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I do think is sort of a bit of a shame this wipe is, ref is gone, but you can still use arena. The fact that you can move, and I know they reduced it, but the fact that you can move in the context of what's happening here, right? Like 1 million rubles last wipe is like, it feels like 3 million this wipe or 4 million. The ratio between these things is just so crazy. It seems like 3 to 4 times, which I think is again that gap between buy for 4, sell for 7, now buy for 7, sell for 4 versus buy for 10, sell for 2. It's probably like a 3 times multiplier, and that's the only way you're really getting cash. Like, I know it's cash registers and stuff. But then when you can move 750,000 rubles from arena, you can get 200. If you win in checkpoint, you get like 200 and something thousand rubles, like 200k.
Crazy.
It's like disproportionately good. Like the rewards in arena need to be like a quarter of what they are, and the transfer amount needs to be a fraction of what it is right now. I think you could, like, even 200,000 rubles would be significant, I would argue.
They should do like a tariff. Like if you, or some type of tax, but like if you, maybe there's like a tax and like a incentive program. So like if you take your Tarkov money, put it in arena, you're gonna get 3 times as much value going in. But if you're going out, then you're gonna get like giga tax, like I don't know, 300%. Actually, I guess you can't really do that math, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah, so it's like, arena money is only worth
Exactly.
it's like a third.
Like
it's like a
third.
different currency. Yeah.
But if you want to take your money and put it in, it's like stonks, baby, raining in.
Yeah, I know. So it does feel a bit disproportionate because, like, even previously people were like, this is what I said in the video, right? Like, people were before, they were like, well, it doesn't matter about arena, whatever, you can make tons of money doing scav, like flea. With no flea and the trader values being on the floor, it's like, if I play an hour, I mean, I don't know what it is on last hero. I think I'm probably better off playing last hero. But if you play like an hour on checkpoint, that's 4 games. That's 200k for a win. Say you 50-50 on wins, just average. So you're probably going to make somewhere around 450k. To do that, that's like 56 Tarka foods or whatever. And you can't play Scav. Scav's 45
that's how
queue.
many? You said an hour worth to play?
That'd be like an hour, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that the ratio there is absurd.
It just feels off to me.
Oh, it's way
I
off.
haven't moved. I've got 2.5 million in arena, and I don't want to move it over because I feel like it's going to sort of spoil the experience. Like I quite
I
enjoy
respect you for that.
scraping. Like it's kind of part of the. Like I don't want to. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I get
mind.
that.
Like it's just money as well. Like I can make money by selling the things in my stash, but I like making the hard choices. It's what makes the wipe fun. And at least at this point as well, like not everyone has Arena 2, so it kind of is helping with content as well. Because I don't want to just be like, oh, well, you just go and do this and you buy all these things. It's like, well, most people, I mean, a lot of people can't do that, but
Yeah.
so you know, it's I don't know. I mean, I'm enjoying it the way it is. I quite like scraping along. I've actually started to make money now
I
at
think
this
that's
point because I've just been getting to less fights. But
how to make money this way. Don't fight.
Hmm.
I think that's one of the cool things I've seen is a couple people showing off their like maybe it's just from your video or maybe I saw some tweets, I don't remember, but showing off their like gun builds and it's like you never in the life history of Tarkov ever see someone rocking like I just scrubbed through your VOD and you had like the AK with the fixed stock that's like got the thumb groove in it. Like what are
It's a VPO 136 as well. It's not even full auto. This thing is. I've still got this gun, by the way. It's a beauty. I've got the
look
Hera
at you getting all
arms. Like,
excited already.
it's so good. It's so good to be able to build this thing from nothing.
Yeah.
So the gun builds I've had so far is like an MPX with a laser and a suppressor that I found in raid with a Boss XC sight on it. I died with that, unfortunately.
Ooh.
The RFB that I said before with the Sig Tango 6T on it, which is like that's my pride and joy. Then I've got this thing, the Vepr 136 with the like fixed like Hera stock with the plum handguard and like a Magpul, like a tan Magpul like foregrip on it with a Cobra sight. No, that's like the next one. It's also got one of those knurled charging handle things because I've just found one of those. So this thing is like a proper like just mongrel weapon made of all sorts of parts. But yeah, you'd never see that normally. It's like so good. I think I found a gun from somebody else and they had some like random set of attachments where I was like, it's so funny. It's so
AKs
funny.
are so good for that. I mean, the only thing you can't really do is like stock adjustments in Ray, but like I guess you can't do it a lot, but you find a lot of Russian feels like disproportionately you find like parts you can use for AK modding more often than like the M4 platform on average.
Yeah, they're like it's just easier to mod them. Like I found a cool handguard the other day and I was looking at it, I was like, oh, I could put this on like one of the ADARs that I've got. That's kind of neat. Like I've got an ADAR off a scav, replaced the lower because the durability was scuffed. And I was like, maybe I will use this. I've like lost all my M4s. Yeah. But M855 is still pretty good, and I've still got some of that, but I have nothing to shoot it through. So I got one of these ADARs. I was like, oh, I'm going to put this handguard on. It's going to be so cool. But you need like the 16 or the 18-inch barrel, otherwise it won't work.
That's
like, so annoying. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So I ended up just selling it. So that's the thing with the AKs. So kind of everything works with everything else. All the handguards work. You can put foregrip on. It's not too bad.
Did you buy your tourniquet?
It's fun putting them together.
With your profits, did you buy your tourniquet when you sold it?
Oh yeah, but buy a tourniquet with the profits. I like it's crazy keeping those things on scav though. It really is. It really is. I'm just like, oh yeah, I can just bring these out. Like Phil, I managed to find one of those med cases from Wish. The big backpack.
yeah.
There was a drop, an airdrop, medical airdrop, and me and another scav shared it. And they had one of the big backpacks in it. And I was like, well, I can't store anything in it other than meds, but that's going to be really handy to get back to the stash with. So now I've got all of my meds stored in that thing. And in there, yeah, it's got all sorts of stuff, just like trying to keep a good balance of all of those different types of items so I can just use a splint, tourniquet, bandage, and cheese from there rather than buying them from the trader because it just saves like a bit of money. Yeah, it's interesting. This is the thing. 70% really like it. Like we talked about the problems with it, but I think most of it is pretty good. Like I enjoy the difficulty of it. Like it's kind of hard for casuals in some ways, but I think outside of the people who, because I gave up on the bosses thing because I was just dying and getting annoyed with it, and I was too hot and whatever. And it is harder solo, I will say, right? Like doing the bosses is difficult solo because you screw it up slightly and that's it. Like as a duo, it's way easier. You can cover each other, like whatever. Yeah. But for the vast majority of players, if you're like coming up against me, the best thing I'm going to have is probably BP and an AK. Other than that, I was using like PS in the 7.62 Vepr. So in most raids, I'm not taking in like the insane stuff. It's usually when I'm having to go and do something like I did delivery from the past, or like take something in good for that. And then if I'm just like roaming around looking for hideout items, I'm probably just running, PS in a 545 AK or whatever. I'm like a UMP. So that last set of Ground Zero raids, I was doing UMP with laser match. Like Peacekeeper is an absolute rip-off, by the way. I should add, because I know everything's got more expensive, and Peacekeeper was already pretty expensive, but you can't buy dollars for a start, so you have to sell the items to him to get USD in the first place. And his stuff is so expensive. If you want the riser, there's the aim point one with the two little dust cover flaps on it, right?
Yeah.
The equivalent of that, if you sell items to Peacekeeper and then look at Mechanic and sell items to him instead and do the ratio, it's like 145 USD for 145 rubles per dollar.
Okay.
That little optic is like $300. It's like 45,000 rubles equivalent
Crazy
to buy that optic. I'm just like, holy crap, that costs more than my actual gun. This is insane. And that's like, I'm slowly getting bankrupted on dollars by buying laser match ammo. It's like $3 per shot or something. So I buy 100 of this stuff, right? It's like 300, it's like 45 grand just to buy like 90 rounds for the UMP.
Wow.
Laser match as well. It's not even match FMJ. And I'm just like, man, I'm not even sure if I want to keep using the UMP here, because I'm like, I'm spending so much. I don't have anything else to use dollars for, but I mean, it's good for leveling up Peacekeeper. I'm just like, dude, this is like really expensive. It's like, like 15k per magazine for the UMP equivalent. I'm just like, this is mental. The other ones aren't as bad, but like buying stuff from Peacekeeper is like extortionate.
But I mean, do you get like, do cash registers have USD? Probably not, or mostly rubles. Yeah,
they do sometimes. They're mostly rubles, but they do sometimes. You can get them on scabs as well, so you can get USD out in the world. I mean, you can get like big lumps of like 500 of it in one go. Same with euros. You can get like big lumps, 300, 500. It's not too bad. And I'm not using it for anything else right now. It's like, it is what it is. But yeah, it does feel a lot. Like he just seems really crazy. You need now, I think it's something like $35,000. No, yeah, is it 35? No, sorry, 3,500. I think it is 3,000. Wait, no, maybe it is 35k. One second, let me just do the maths quickly, so I'm not in the wrong ballpark. Yeah, I think it's like 30. You need like $33,000 spent with Peacekeeper now for Peacekeeper 2. Not that you can get to Peacekeeper 2 yet because of the level lock, but at some point that's going to activate, right? And I don't think they're going to change that. The equivalent of that is nearly 5 million rubles spent with Peacekeeper. It's outrageous.
That is crazy.
Given that you can't buy USD from him, maybe you will be able to buy USD from him, because usually that contributes towards the amount, right? So you normally you end up buying like 5k USD to do Friend from the West.
Yeah.
So that's often where a lot of that like comes from. So whether they let you buy dollars or not, as time goes on, it's like you're gonna have to sell. And because the item prices are so low, you don't get much rep bonus cash spent from selling items, because a whole gun might sell for $100. So you're like, man, I'm gonna have to just like buy from him somehow, but I need to get the dollars to actually buy from him. When I sell, I don't get much. It's just like, yeah, it's crazy. We're gonna have to see what happens with the level 2 traders when they come through.
Oh, I guess you're kind of hideout locked too, because you need trader levels. Because I was gonna say that's probably one upside, was like barters are gonna be good. And I mean, in theory, right? Because like, okay, so if like the traders are paying less for a DVD drive, but the barters are the same, technically the stonk sort of barters it's remained the same. But
so barters relatively have improved significantly.
Yeah, exactly. So
and also because you can't sell the items on the flea market, it's like, oh well, I would previously have kept, I don't know, whatever it might be, for selling on the flea, but I can't do that. And then the trader price is like 7,000 rubles. It's like, well, I'm actually much better off using the insect wrench to barter for the Uzi and then selling that. Or using whatever it might be.
Cash, yeah. You
still want the cash in some cases, but other times it's like, actually I'm going to do the barter. So I was doing, for example, when I was like really low on gear at one point, and I was like, man, I'm like, even a packer is like 40, 50k. And I was like, what am I going to do here? So I was on fence looking for the lower half masks, buy 3 of those because they were only 5k each or something, and then buying packers using the barter. You can like barter for the Untar armor if you've got max energies, I think. So you can get class 3 armor from him for the blue armor. So I was like, actually, this is not, this is okay. I can get lots of max energies on ground 0. So the barters are important because the cash spend is so high. So I've been definitely doing a lot more of those, like looking into which ones are good and which ones are not good. But it's a bit more flexible because it's not like hardcore only. And then looking at the crafts too, and going, okay, what's actually good? Like you can make yourself a press vest if you have ripstop, cordura, and a front plate from a press. The front plate from the press barters for a grand juice. You can make ripstop out of scav vests, which you can barter for slickers.
Oh god, here we
you
go.
You can make aramid out of packers, which you can barter for the 3 low half masks. And then if you put you put those things together and you get a full press vest with backplate, class 3. So I've been doing a bit of that. I got a few of those as well. So I was like, this is cool. But there's no real consistent way to get class 4 armor other than sometimes on scavs at the moment, which is good. I actually think it's good.
Yeah, no,
It's good.
I agree. It's good. I mean, class 4 is like super plentiful as soon as you start getting trader levels and then the white progresses and whatnot. Do you think scav's taken away from the experience at all, or do you think it's fine? Or I mean, I guess it's changed a bit since now they've opened up the map and removed transit and questing.
I don't know. With the maps all completely open, the thing is, scav is so nerfed in comparison because of no fleet and the item itself is so low level to traders.
It's true.
And then you can't use the money.
And it's on like a 1 hour cooldown.
So it was an hour 15. They've changed it to 45 minutes. That's actually why the queues started getting bad, because they kind of doubled the amount of scavs in the game. Because people are, rather than waiting 85 minutes, they now wait 45 minutes.
Right.
So that effectively doubles the amount of scav runs people could do, and the queues got cooked. So I kind of liked it. This is the thing. I kind of liked it when it was long. I almost feel that this is sort of a fringe issue, so I don't actually really care.
Mm-hmm.
But I always feel like if they'd left the queues really, really long, but allowed you, I mean, this would only have benefited experienced players, to be fair. But if they'd allowed you to like transit items back, you could just do like a big transit. But it's quite fun doing transit as scav. But the problem is you end up full of stuff and you kind of just want to leave at some point. Even if you've got cash, you can't transit the stuff back to your PMC. So it would be it probably would be kind of OP. This is why I'm sort of torn about it, because you don't start with money necessarily, but like, if you started out and then you went from map to map to map to map to map to map, you kind of want to like make the most of my 85-minute cooldown.
Right.
And if you could move stuff back,
like just slowly siphon off loot as you keep transiting.
Yeah, like that would be kind of cool. It'd be a cool thing, but then as soon as you do die, it's like, oh, it really is a long time. And there is a portion of the player base that is maybe like the bottom 5 or 10% of players who just like don't have any gear.
Yeah.
The scav cooldown, even at 45 minutes, is kind of too long for them.
Yeah.
They've run out of stuff from stash. They can't pay for the healing anymore.
That sucks.
Because healing from therapy is really expensive. And it's like, I've had a handful of people come into chat being like, what do you think I should do here with like minimal stuff? It's like because the scav is a social security of the game.
Right.
When the scav time is like 45 minutes, if you do that and die, obviously that's awful on its own. But if you do that, you leave, you put that gear on your PMC, you go in, and then you die in like 10 minutes, you leave the raid, it's like, oh, scav's still got like 30 minutes on it. Like, crap, what am I going to do here? I don't know.
Yeah, there is something weird, because then it's like, it almost feels like the game's solution to that is like, you just need to log off. And then when you come back, it's like, okay, now your PMC is healed fully, right? I mean, yeah, I think over time you fix broken limbs. I'm not too positive about that, but and then it's like, okay, now you just got to go scav, get some gear, and then throw in your PMC, and it's like, oh, you died. Well, just go back to the sit at the menu, log off, come back in an hour. So
kind of, yeah.
There's something there that, like, Tarkov's rock pre-hardcore, it was kind of hard to hit rock bottom, I would say, because you had a low scav down timer, and flea market, once you get, I mean, it's all relative, obviously, but obviously, fast forwarding to this wipe, I am not surprised that you've had people come in and tell you that they're in this situation. I mean, what have you said to them? I'm curious.
I basically just said, obviously use your scav when it's off cooldown. Try to survive on your scav raid as best as possible. So just avoid any combat and just try to leave. sell a couple of items that you might have found to even just get a pistol or whatever. Just try to take like the minimum gear in as PMC and try to kill a single scav in your PMC run. You know, that's kind of the deal. So it's either like use the scav stuff to go on your PMC, kill a scav and like upgrade your gear through that, and then just try to leave and just play really careful. And like once you've got a couple of guns, because that's like my experience playing hardcore as well. Like obviously I'm an experienced player, like know where the stuff is and whatever. But like the hardcore is only hard right at the beginning when you don't have anything, and like losing the one gun that you've got is like really detrimental. So like at the beginning I just focus on getting 5 guns of some kind with more than 10 shots in it, because once you've got that, you can ramp up quite quickly with a scav, because a scav kit, a basic AI scav kit is all right. Obviously, you probably don't have all the meds you need and whatnot, but like once you get to that point, it's like, okay, well, I could sell a few things, maybe I can buy myself, I don't have to buy everything. Maybe I've got an S March or a bandage, or maybe a cheese, or maybe a painkiller and a gun with some of the ammo that goes with it. Maybe, maybe armor, maybe not, but I've got a rig and maybe a bag. Like once you've got to that point, then and you've got like 5 or 6 guns, and you're like, okay, well, I can at least go in a few times and be super careful and try it. And then combine that with the scav, you do manage to sort of build yourself back up. But like just get something really cheap, either a pistol, and just try to get a single scav headshot, and take that gear, whatever. And I did have somebody come back in the other day and was just like, oh yeah, this was actually good advice. Like I'm actually on the way up now again.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's like I think people don't. I think that's the thing. When you're an experienced player, you kind of know like what extremes to take. So when you're like super geared, I'm going to go to the hotspots and like maximize my possibility of getting like good loot. I know where people can come from, so I can kill them. When you're like super undergeared playing hardcore, it's just like, okay, I know exactly where I need to go to not see anyone.
Yeah,
and just come and farm like completely hidden and not die. Whereas like I think new players kind of end up like in this weird middle ground where they're not really geared to go to like a good area, but then just end up wandering around places that other players are going to be in and then dying with their stuff without necessarily even getting to like fight properly or whatever. So it's just like really just avoid the people. It's so that's like I think there's ways out, but you don't necessarily know how to do that to begin with. But it almost seems like if the scav is going to be punished, because scav is like really easy, you just run around as a scav, like it's so much easier not to die, not even to worry about other scavs. So good. It almost needs to be some kind of like social security free kit. It's like you'll get randomly one of the pistols with 1 mag, you'll get a shot, like maybe the double barrel shotgun or the revolver shotty with like a few shells, like no armor, and something, and it full heals you. But you have to pick that kit.
Yeah. It's almost like it reminds
maybe
me
no
of
cooldown, but
Dark and Darker. How they got like their basically you start with like a white gear. I mean, it's actually gray, but it's like it's worse than like common gear that you find in the thing. But it's like at least you have something, that way you're not going in like a hatchling basically. Like, because I don't know, playing melee combat in a like mass majority shooting game, it's just like that's not really fun. And then you add on to the part where you're like, you spawn in, you have a bleed, and you have 10 HP because all your limbs are 1. That's not really fun either. I don't know. It's like something there. Obviously, normal Tarkov gameplay, you don't really have that issue come up all that often, except for like big fringe stuff. But here you're seeing more, less fringe.
They could even add it so that you have, it's like another version of that item that doesn't spawn in the loot pools, and it would be called something like, you have like rusty double barrel shotgun, rusty M9 pistol, rusty grutch, and it sells to the trader for like 1 ruble. They could be their own item, so that then you're not incentivized, because that's the thing, you want to make this system so that it helps people you want to help without allowing experienced players from just abusing the ever-living shit out of it, right? Which is like half of the problem with this game in the first place. But the reason why Scav's nerfed is because like people who know what they're doing just like, crank that to the max.
Yeah.
So if all the stuff that you got given at the beginning was just zero, it doesn't even have to be zero durability, but a different, because you don't want to punish people even more, but just it's like it can't really be sold. Either can't be sold, or it has like a value of 1. Yeah. That would sort of fix that would stop people from doing annoying stuff, but it would allow people to go in at least with like something,
right?
Get healed up, and like get off rock bottom.
A mac and cheese, maybe that's all you need. Do a little Makarov, 8 rounds in the chamber, or 8 rounds in the mag, 1 in the chamber. You got your slice of cheese, the classic.
Yeah. So I think that's that. I think there are some people struggling with that, but for the most part, it's kind of okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
insurance. One final,
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
last big point.
I watched. Have you seen? You need to, if you're listening and you GigaBeef, need to watch Leviticus video on the hardcore wipe. One of the cool things I will say, and I'll let you continue on, is not about insurance, but one of the things he was like this. I think he was talking about the guns, but then he was talking about some of the experiences that like you just never get inside of regular Tarkov, and one of them was like they're in the stronghold of customs, and like because ammo is like scarce and everything's like a little hard to get. They were running out of ammo to fight off the scavs, so he had to throw his buddy a gun down below, which like never happens because you have like 120 rounds in your butt. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
there was just like really cool things that came up about, which I love stuff like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was trying to think, was there? Yeah, I had that one raid which you would just never get otherwise. The other day, which was just like it was genuinely the most outright. I did end up dying. It was a real shame I ended up dying because it would have been so good if I hadn't died. But it was like the most outrageous raid I've ever had in the whole of EFT. Actually, it's going to like live with me for a long time.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I was just like, fed up. I was like, I'm just fed up of this. We're just going to try and do. I was trying to do ground zero. I was trying to finish off the machine gun and the grenade launcher quest where you have to just go and find them. I'd done all the other parts and I needed the one above Tarbank. So I was like, I'm just going to go in. I've got this random Desert Eagle. I've got 5 bullets in this thing.
So cool.
Let's just play.
Oh my god.
Let's just
so
go.
Cool.
Yeah. Have you seen it? Did you see that bit yet?
No.
Okay.
I might skip ahead.
That was not. It was actually not on this stream. You'll probably see it separately because I actually sent it to you as like a longer thing, being like, can we like shorten this down into like a mini like thing? Anyway, you'll see it at some point.
Oh, okay.
But basically,
short thing. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Because now you can do like the 3-minute ones. I was like, oh, maybe. But so I spawned in Nakatani, as I always do 90% of the time, it seems, on Ground Zero. I don't know why. I always spawn in Nakatani. And I'm just like looting around, see if I can get anything. I've literally got a Desert Eagle. That was it. That's all I brought with me. And I was like looting a few things. And then a guy like busts in like straight away. I was like, oh no. I was like forced to fight him. I was telling chat, I've got to be careful with the Deagle because it's the recoil on this thing is absolutely outrageous. So I've got to fire nice and slowly. Get into cover with this guy, bam, 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 like fire off all the shots completely well. Like I hit him, I hit him one time. And chat was just like, "What are you doing?" You literally, I was just like, "I don't." I'm sorry. It was like so funny. But yeah, so I think I caught him with one of them, and that stuff, because he's got it's 50 FMJ. That stuff it hurts. It's like 80 something damage. It's 85 damage, I think, and like 40 pen or something. So I think I caught him real good with one shot because it kind of stopped him from chasing me. He was like shooting, but I was like very distracted very quickly after I hit him, and he was like, I could hear him behind going like, after I did shoot him. So he shoots at me, hits me, but doesn't actually black any limbs out, smashes out the window behind me. We like have this initial volley. He's like has to reload or disappear or whatever. I turn around, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. So I just like book it straight out of the window through the glass out of Nakatani, which he smashed with his shots at shooting at me. I fall down onto the cover. Over the street level down below, and I'm like, and I didn't take any damage because it's quite low down. I was just like,
oh, okay.
It's like it's not that big a fall. I was just like, oh, now I'm here. How am I going to get down? So like, I look around quickly. I'm like, okay, maybe if I could try and get like round the side, I can like drop down here. I drop down, break both legs on like on exit. I'm just like, oh crap. So now I'm like limping like crazy. There's like, I hear a scav like
and you got
decently
no
off in
ammo,
the distance on
right?
the left. I've got literally nothing. People are just like, why don't you just go and kill that scav? I'm like, dude, I literally bought 5 shots. That was it. I've just got this deagle. That's it. I have nothing else. I don't even have a melee weapon, and I've got no painkillers. I'm limping because both legs are broken.
Yeah.
Just like, right, we need to just go and find something. So like, go and try and look at the bodies. Like, don't find anything there. then the scavs like starts going towards me and sees me on my I was like in Nakatani itself, like where the extract is. I come out and I'm like by one of the pillars and I hear like, whoa, you know, whatever one of the scav voice lines. I'm like, oh crap. And they're like extra aggressive too, right? So the guy like, he's like shooting, he's like coming towards me. I'm like behind the pillar, like trying to dodge like bait shots or whatever. He like starts running this way. So I just kind of like do the sort of, you know, loop round the pillar. He like runs off, kind of like loses focus on me and like disappears. I'm like, okay, he's like over by Nakatani. I like limp crawl my way round the corner. Like he keeps progressively like spotting me, taking a few pot shots. I'm just like, oh come on, man! Like let's just get around the corner. Get around the corner. There's one of the PMC bodies. Open up the PMC body. What's in there? It's another Deagle. So I'm like, yes, with the 357 Deagle. So I pulled that one out instead. I'm like, right, where are you, baby? Like, go back, like, shoot the scav, like, kill him, lay down, take his stuff. I'm still like crawling, got no painkillers. I think I got SKS from him, and then creep all the way around. You know, it's just like I don't know where the first guy's gone to. I end up killing a scav in the Tarbank building. I go all the way to the top. I'm just like, to hell with it. I'm getting my quest done. I don't care. So I go all the way up the Tarbank like stairs through the barbed wire. I'm like walking through. Like I go in. I complete the quest. I'm like looking for some other stuff that I can do stuff with. I end up finding like a packet of analgins. I'm just like, oh, this is great actually. And then I think I found some meds like healed up or whatever. I still had breaks. I didn't have any legs. But I was like, we just need to go because I've got four of these painkillers. And then we're done again. So we're just gonna go as fast as possible. I go complete the quest, but on my way down, there's like 2 PMCs coming to do the same quest as me. I'm just like, oh damn it!
Do you have to
lean around the corner?
I head for that quest. I forget.
No, you don't.
Okay,
it just completes. It just completes. Yeah. So like they both peek into the corridor as I like lean around on my way back down again. I headshot the one of them, and the other guy kills me. But it was crazy. Oh, actually, no, I forgot one section, actually, with the scav thing. So I killed the scav with the second Desert Eagle, right? Pick up his stuff. Then PMC, the original, oh yeah, this is the important part. The original PMC from the main building came back round and he's like shooting at me and I'm still like slow, like my arms or whatever. Like, and he comes around the corner and I literally like one tap him with the SKS. And I was just like, wait, hold on, what did I do? Like, did that just happen? Like, we wander over and he's like dead on the floor. I was like, that guy definitely thinks I'm hacking or something. Like, I can't believe that engagement. It's just like, it was honestly, it was insane. I've never had a raid like it. It was absolutely insane. I wish that we'd have survived. It would have been, I had enough time to get out. It's just unfortunate the 2 PMCs turned up at the same time. Man, it was bonkers. But you would never get that playing the normal raid, you know?
Yeah.
Only in hardcore doing some kind of like crazy pistol run. Like, it's just, so it's good. It's good. It's definitely got its good experiences. You know,
that's cool.
Man, it's wild.
I could just see, you know, like you're limping and you loot. I might as well check the dead USEC and it's got a dead G. You need to pick it up. And you're like, all right, this I'm gonna limp back and kill that scav. I'm slowly coming for you, scav.
Yeah, it's like something for some horror movie. I'm like the zombie, like shuffling along. Some horrible pistol. Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Oh my god, it was funny. It was funny. So no, it's been a good time. It's been a good time. Right, it's been brutal, but
yeah,
certainly interesting solving the challenges of something new, right? Like trying to figure out what to do, what to take, what not to take, what to sell, what to keep, what guns to run. Like even doing the level 1 trader weapons guide this wipe, I was just like, man, like everything's kind of good, everything's kind of bad. Like the ammo's is sort of bad for all these guns. If you come against someone with class 4 on, like they're probably just going to kill you because you don't have more than 20 pen in almost any of the weapons. So kind of hard picking stuff that's actually decent.
I just remind myself one thing thought I had. Jumping back to difficulty. Do you think it would have been good or bad for them to do a gameplay change where they revert the armor system back to the first initial plates introduction? Like basically, Giga just made a face and it was not a positive one. Like basically, you know, you have the plate hitbox, and then you have, you know, the vest hitbox, and the vest. It's like, it's technically, guys, it's more hardcore, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, it actually might have worked, you know, for this wipe in particular. Just because it would actually have been the flip side to the good boss gear, actually.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because then you could actually have a fighting.
You could actually kill those people.
Yeah.
And M855, because M855 in that wipe became basically the best ammo, right? You could fire it at fast fire rate. It would pen through the soft armor, and it would just kill you in 2 hits if you hit the gap. But M855 is some like level 3 trader unobtainium right now.
Yeah.
So like the M855 is one of the best rounds at the moment because of the armor that people are running. I mean, that's not quite true, but you know, it's the one that's plentiful because people have it in their stashes. But so it, it actually might have worked.
It would be the wipe of the cleanse, or yeah, the wipe of the ketters, because they would just do
it would be that too.
That one. I guess I think there's a couple different. I mean, there's so many of those 9x18 or 9x19, whatever it is, rounds. And there's got to be like at least 10. So surely there's multiple that have over 20 pin. But yeah, I don't know. That's just a thought I had. I mean, I like the current.
It could do.
I like the again, I don't know if it would really add or subtract to it. I would probably err on the side of subtraction, but if you want to go hardcore, I guess that's like one thing that might fit into it. But
yeah, it just makes it very variable. Something like whether you're going to win or not, it feels a bit more random, which depends what you want to do. Really, it's like is the goal to flatten the kind of gear differential between different players and like reduce the skill cap, I guess, because that's what it would do. It makes it easier for people who are not as good, because sometimes they will just hit the lucky 2-tap in the special spot and take down somebody who's who's decent. It makes the body shots just so much more powerful. So it depends, but I mean, it could have been okay. Could have worked actually.
Yeah, I don't know. That's actually interesting. Yeah, because at the same time, then I mean, I feel like I don't know. It's weird because once you start adding in things like, I guess they've tried to tone it down with like limiting flea market stuff. But yeah, anyways, people were doing it to Gillistrat, right? And in a sense, they were basically gear checking people. You know what I mean? So like, you kind of square that circle, but then it also feels bad, isn't it? Like, well, what's the point of me hunting good gear? It's like, I mean, I feel like the takeaway from this podcast, just like, everything's a two-edged sword, man. It's like, this is great, but also I just stabbed myself.
Yeah, it's like with a lot of things. It's less like, oh, the gear's like, there's like no gear. It's just like, well, if you do get gear, you become godly. It's just like, oh, that feels great for a player. Feels pretty bad when you shoot someone with BP and they kill you.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, it's like, it's all, good thing for one player, bad thing for another player. I would say there's a lot of dramatization about all of the players in the game with a tequila face shield and dying constantly to it, right? It's a small fraction of the players who actually have that. It's unlikely to run into them. I've not run into anybody who was wearing the tequila face, for example. Only one time on Factory, actually, which is sort of fair enough. Outside of that, I've not really seen it. So people say, oh, the game's plagued, there's classics everywhere, it's ruined, it's Giga Chance, it's just like, that's not really, that's an exaggeration, but obviously you see that take on social media. Like most players that I run into are either level 1 with a commando rig on, or they're, just budget Mongol loadout like mine, most people.
Yeah. So there's a couple things I want to add. Insurance, because I think you miss talking about that. Insurance.
Oh, yes.
Is like absurd. Leviticus accidentally spend his entire starter stash out of habit. I mean, it's
pest.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it really would have been better for them just to turn it off, because like, you're not gonna pay $500,000. You're just not. But it's just the consequence, and like, I hate to say it as like a really negative thing, but it is what it is. It's like, when you just tweak the numbers, like this is kind of the result you get. You know what I mean? It's just like,
it's a reading tax.
It really is.
If you're unable to read, then no. Like, it's one of those things. It's like the old flea market stuff where you can actually bankrupt yourself putting stuff up for like huge values without any warning, saying this is over 50% of your starting stash amount of money, right? Like, people who are on muscle memory have been playing this game for a long time. I mean, I'm going to say this now, I'm probably going to get destroyed at some point. There's going to be karma coming back around, but I tend not to get caught up by these things, usually. I've had a couple of mishaps, like a long time ago, but I usually do try to read the stuff before doing. I don't trust the game, right? Like, there's so many. I think I'm just in this permanent distrust of the game ever since those like old flea scams, people taking your red rebel for the old barters, just you put an item up on the flea market for the wrong price and the flea fee is like 3 million rubles, just like all of this stuff. It's just happened. There's just been too many of them over the years. I'm always just like, okay, I like click on each item and like, okay, what's that worth? What's that worth? Also, I'm like one of those players that I'm not the kind of just like right from the word go, oh, insure will go, whatever. Like, I don't even care. I'm going to make enough money, so it doesn't even matter. Like, I like thinking about this stuff, and I'm putting content together in that way as well. It's just like, okay, which exact pieces am I supposed to do? Like, is that good value? No. Is this good value? Yes. Is that good value? No. Is that good value? Yes. Like, I'm slow and thoughtful like that anyway. So I tend to like click on each part and go, okay, So the only thing that's good about insurance is helmets and armor that isn't plates. They're really cheap. I don't know why. Something to do with the soft armor. Like, helmets have always been really cheap, actually, ever since they changed the hitbox system. So like a ULAC was always very inexpensive, even back in last wipe. But yeah, so now like the rat rig, the ULay, like packers and all those things, they're like really, really cheap to insure. You can actually insure the frame of the armor really cheaply if you avoid the plates.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can insure the plates if you want, but it's like 30k to insure like a class 3 plate, like 50k to insure a class 4 plate kind of thing. But yeah, the insurance is insane. Like the starter kit, I think the starter like the USEC starter kit, I think it's like 500,000 rubles to insure the whole thing. Guns are like absolutely absurd. Guns cost more to insure than they cost to buy. So
guns, they cost more than what?
To insure than they cost to buy. So a AK-74U costs 30k to buy. It costs like 45k to insure. I can sort of see that in some sense being like, well, if it's a mutant and it costs more to insure, well, you can't buy it right now. So the insurance is really expensive, but the thing is you're never going to get it back. So the risk reward of it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I can sort of see it, but anyway, yeah, they probably should have just got rid of it completely rather than, you know. I think that's probably what they were going for. It's like you can see a lot of the stuff in game. It's like, oh, they didn't remove the level 2 traders. They made the requirement to get to the traders level 2, level 8, character level 80. It's like they've done just whatever's the easiest set of changes they can make, which is what we thought they were going to do to get the desired effect. And they just went, someone just went in and just like multiplied the insurance cost by 10 just to prevent people from doing it. But that's like not enough necessarily. Like
they should have another zero.
They should have increased it by like 100 or something if they wanted to do that, because they've managed to increase it to a point at which it's like a feasible amount of money to have in your stash, but too much that you would never legitimately want to do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Which is like right in the sweet spot to just, that's why I called it like a user interface landmine in my video.
Yeah.
Because it basically is, you accidentally just stumble on this thing. It's like the Ground Zero landmine, but in the UI. Classic. That's Tarkov.
A classic.
Oh, Clean had it. There was a video that Clean did recently, and I know Clean's a very divisive figure in the community, but he did a video about like his thoughts about hardcore and whatever. And he's like, he's always been on the like super hardcore end where people basically accuse Clean of just like ruining the game with suggestions.
Yes,
and, yeah, exactly. People always saying that about Clean, but he did one the other day which was I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the two recent ones. It might have been the hardcore Tarkov, could be the only hard. Oh no, I think it was the better one. What BSG could have done better. I think it might have been that one. And there's a section in there where he's just like, it did make me laugh, to be honest. It did genuinely make me laugh because like he was right about a lot of stuff. He's just like, the game's supposed to be hard. Like, you guys complain, you have to do the same quest every time. Now you complain there's no quest. Like, there's no winning with you people. Like, what exactly do you want? Like, what do you want from BSG?
Totally valid take. But yeah, I mean, I can sympathize both ways. I'll let you finish though.
Yeah, no, exactly. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find like on the transcript. Because it was funny. There's one, maybe it was the other. It must have been the other video. I'm gonna find it because it was funny what he said. There's like one section that's just called like, it's called problems with the player basically. Let me find that. Let me find that part of the.
Oh god, this is like a really long tweet. Then
Oh no, this is an actual YouTube video.
Oh, YouTube
I was just
video.
like interested to see. I was just interested to see what people were saying. But
sure.
Yeah, it was funny. It's just like, it blows my mind. People complaining it's going to be different. What do you mean I can't do the same quest I've been complaining about? The same progression for years. I want to do it that way. He was saying, I literally called this. I knew you chuds were going to complain about this crap. It blows my mind. You want it to be different, and now it's different. You want it to be the same because you feel comfortable. And that's the problem with the Tarkov player base, is you're too comfortable. The game is supposed to make you feel comfortable. It's supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be difficult, bro. You're not supposed to feel good. It's not a fun game. It's supposed to be hardcore. Tarkov community just got way too comfortable. You guys want to know everything. You want to know where every PMC is. You want to know every loot spot is. You want to know every quest item is. Now it's changing. You're upset. Get uncomfortable. Welcome to Tarkov. It's supposed to be hard. Always has been. I was like, I agree with you, man. Like, there's quite a lot of that I actually agree with.
Yeah.
He's like, but I'm a dad with 6 kids. Well, I know dads with 6 kids who probably play the game better than you do. You just suck. There's a skill issue. It's not my problem. It was a good rant. It was a good rant. I enjoyed it. Like, there's definitely like, elements of truth in that I'm kind of aligned with in some ways. But I know everything that the BSG have done is perfect. But
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely saw the writing on the wall there. It's like, I know people are going to complain about no quest, and it's going to be so ironic because that's all people complain about is the quest suck. But like, I think both can be true. In other words, like,
yes,
the quests, absolutely, they suck. And that's probably part of the point of the game. And also, it's like, once you remove them, it's like, what's the point of the game? You know what I mean? It's like the game doesn't quite function. There is something there. It's not like the game suddenly doesn't exist anymore, but like you removed a very core central aspect of the game.
yeah.
So, but yeah,
That's a lot of my take on like, oh, add something new for hardcore. Obviously, that requires coding and time, which they won't go do this way. But like, if they added something different, like, because people, realistic, what do people actually want? They don't want the quest to be gone. They don't want to have to do the same quest over and over. What people really want BS to do is to do the thing that they said they're going to do over the last 4 years, which is an actual overhaul of all the quests so that they're not the same and they're different.
Yeah.
Are they going to do that? Very unlikely. I don't think that's going to happen. And
I mean, we'll see.
1.0. Like, does it even matter then? Because you're still going to go back through the wiki to go and like, look all the items up or whatever, and like look where all the stuff is, because the quest design is. We only got to this point because we know where everything is because we've done it 10 times in a row. The quests are on their own when they would get released, so like basically super obnoxious. Although that's true, that's not completely fair because they have released lots of new quests over the years, and like Labyrinth quest line and all this stuff, and like, you have to look some of it up and whatever, but it's still quite fun to do something different and new because you've never been quite to that spot before. You have to look around in a new area, so maybe that's not entirely fair. So I do think if they'd added hardcore quests, some basic ones, didn't even need to be complicated. Transit to Lighthouse and kill 10 targets. Boom, easy to code. You don't have to put there's no trigger points or anything. It's just counters. It's just counters, right? And they've got loads of these quests already. They know how to do those together. Transit. How about 10 quests? Transit to all these maps and kill 10 targets. Kill 10 targets on all these maps. You have to transit through here. Go through these transits without dying. Like whatever it might be. To just like give the people who want a quest something to do. The people who don't want to do it, it doesn't matter. You can make the rewards like, I don't even know. You can make the rewards things that are useful but aren't necessarily like required.
Yeah. No, I
maybe don't give them loads of XP. You just give people something to do with them. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think that would have made sense. The other thing, and probably the last thing for me, is marked rooms. I saw someone repost a video about marked rooms, and I mean, the person opened the video and there was like no loot there, like not even a pistol. Presumably not any ammo. I mean, I didn't see them do the tech where you crouch walk around the every square inch of the floor scavenging for like some pistol round. But yeah, that definitely feels very bad. And then I saw very bad scav quote tweet that video, and then he had a video of him like looting cash registers on interchange, and he was like, "This is what he had like." He had like 300K or something at the end of it. He was like, "This is better than Marked Room, you guys."
Yeah,
it was kind of funny. I
have two reserve Marked Room keys. I actually found RBBK twice.
Oh wow!
I went to go and do it once. Which did I mention that already? Maybe I did. I talk about it.
Because I said I went customs to reserve, but you didn't tell. I don't think you described the details.
Did I say what I got?
There. I don't think so.
So it wasn't empty.
Okay.
It was. I got a keycard holder.
Oh, okay.
Which I never use those, so I sold it for 200K. So that was good.
Yeah, that's good.
I got a stock Mark 47 mutant.
That's
which
great.
Was cool. And I got a Tagilla figurine.
Okay. Money in the
which
Bank.
sells for like 50k or something.
Yeah.
I didn't sell it yet because you could use it in the cult circle to get face visor, which I thought might be useful. So I've kept it for now. But I thought I was like, that's actually okay.
That seems fine to me.
I did have to go. I did lose the Mark 47 music, so you have to go for customs to reserve back to customs, and I died instantaneously to the Zwodsky brothers. But
Should alt F4, should done the tech.
should have all there forward. Yeah, I was just like, but like Presley mentioned something in his latest video about how BSG were like going to ban streamers who were doing it like publicly, because obviously they can't tell, right? But I haven't heard that anywhere. I don't know where that's from. Maybe he's spoken to Nikita directly.
Yeah.
And Nikita's just like, yes, we will ban you if you do that, you know. So, but I mean, I didn't want to do it anyway because it just feels like, again, it robs me of the experience.
Yeah.
You know, half the reason why the early wipe's fun for me is like, it's not just a race for me. It's about like the experience of playing.
Yeah.
And, like overcoming the challenges and whatever.
100%.
I wanted to do it even because right at the beginning, I didn't mention this because it was literally like the first like 8 hours or something. You could use, so you remember, you actually probably don't even remember because I didn't know this. People were telling me in chat and I was confused. If you go to PMC and then it shows you the map screen, if you click on one of the maps, you would just press next, right? That's the deal.
Okay.
That's just what you do in the menu. There is another button, which I don't think I've pressed it for 8 years, which is map. It's at the bottom next to, maybe it's next to cancel. I'm not even sure. If you clicked on one of the maps that was shut, the next button is grayed out, right? Or you couldn't even click on it. Oh no, you could click on it, but the next button was grayed out. You could go down to the bottom and you could press map. And what that would do is it would load up a screen where the map would be displayed if you had it, the in-game map, right? This is like a super, super, super old legacy feature that everyone forgot about, including BSG. On that screen, there's a next button, which then allowed you to queue into any map you liked. Because they didn't remove the maps or the ability to queue there, all they did was grey it out on the first screen. But because the map screen also had a next button, they hadn't grayed that out and you could just get into any map you liked. So for the first like 6 hours of the wipe, people were playing Streets, people were playing Interchange, Lighthouse, whatever. And you could do that with Scav or with PMC. Again, I didn't do it. I was busy doing reserve to, mark from going to woods or whatever. Because I just was like, man, that's so lame and it sucks.
Yeah.
Like I don't blame people for doing it.
Right.
Use the stuff. Use the stuff. That's fine. Like I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not, not going to blame you for doing it. But I was like, that's going to I feel like that's going to rob me of the experience. It's a bit of a shame that it was like that, but I was like, I feel like I'm robbing me of the experience. So yeah, they removed it completely. So now you can't even click on the maps that are not available now. But yeah, that was quite funny. It was just like,
yeah,
all right. Some like old legacy button that they forgot to remove, It's very BSG.
Good stuff. I think that's pretty much it for now.
Yeah. The next thing to look forward to is when they're going to release either the next set of quests or the next set of traders. That's probably the next part to it, because level 2 traders is going to have to come at some point, but the next set of quests is probably going to also have to come at some point. I don't know exactly what order. They're sort of contingent on each other. Like you were saying before, the hideout's also locked. You can't get to Workbench 2 without Mechanic 2. So you're kind of like stuck with the hideout at a certain point. You can't do interchange quests for Ragman until you get Ragman 2, because that is the first quest of his. Get to Ragman level 2. And then he gives you all the other quests at level 17 or whatever. So until we get level 2 traders, we're kind of going to be a bit locked. So we'll see what BSG does next. I don't know how long they're going to take. I wouldn't be surprised if they even wait 2 weeks, for example, and then drop level 2 traders maybe, and then 2 more weeks for level 3, 2 more weeks for level 4, just really gate it. But
I mean, surely, yeah. We'll see. I guess this could be a longer wipe. I don't know. I mean, the timeline makes sense if you're gonna go 1.0 December or January. Yeah, I guess. Who knows? We'll see. Time will tell, as it always does.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think the 1.0 is going to be December. Again, I just think it's going to be then. If I was going to be forced to pick a date, it's probably like 27th of deck or something like that. So, yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I think it should be regular. I think it's going to be a regular length wipe. I mean, it's actually going to be a longer second half wipe because all the other ones have been August.
Yeah. And they're time gaining it out, so it's arbitrarily going to be longer as well. in that sense.
Yeah, I guess it'd be longer progression, so maybe people will play for longer.
Or maybe people will join in
Yeah,
later once more stuff's unlocked. I could see that.
maybe.
Possibly myself. We'll
Yeah,
see.
there was a whole sort of like witch hunt about Nikita's. So he said on his post saying, "We'll gradually switch on all the features."
Hmm.
Some guy wrote, "How does the current player count look compared to other normal wipes?" And Nikita replied, "Way more than usual," which obviously sparked off a huge wave of people being like, "Prove it.
Yeah.
Why does he need to prove it? That's surprising if it's true. That seems crazy." I can't. I mean, maybe. The issue is if you look at like the Twitch tracker websites,
Hmm.
it's probably on par, maybe a little lower than some of the other bigger wipes. Doesn't seem anything special from that perspective.
Okay.
Usually, they're not the same thing, obviously,
Yeah.
but usually if a wipe is like really interesting, then lots of people are also watching. Those things usually, I mean, there's a high correlation there. I mean, it doesn't prove anything per se.
Hmm.
I don't know. Just lots of people are not sure if that's actually true or not. I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't
it
know.
also depends on what stats you're talking about, right? Because you might have had a lot of people who are still warmed up on PvE because usually they might have like quit the game and be playing other stuff, but they might still be playing PvE. So they may have like come over and gone, "Oh well, I'll try it out because I'm still in the game sphere."
I don't know.
So maybe the day one stats might have been a lot higher because people were like testing out. And I know there's quite a few people that came into my chat who were just like, "I've been playing PvE. I came over to PvP. I did like 4 raids. I lost all my gear, and I was just like, man, this wipe is like really crap.
Really?
I'm going back to
Okay.
PvE."
I'm surprised. I mean, I've seen people comment like, "Yep, and that's why I'm staying at PvE land." You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think some people gave it a go. I think some people were just like,
okay.
if I can get a good head start in this, whatever, like I'll give it a try. It's free to try. The account's
I
right
mean, that's
there.
the
See
thing
what's
about
up.
it. Like, I mean, I could believe it, but I would prefer to just see evidence. But like, I don't really care one way or the other if it is a higher player count or not, or one of the highest.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's whatever.
BLP makes a good point. No drops though. So again, that skews the Twitch viewership metrics by quite a
Yeah, yeah,
significant
yeah, yeah.
margin. So it's hard to know, you
Hmm.
know? It's hard to know.
Well, I had a really, really good joke set up for this next segment, which is 5 games set up, and was going to be basically something like, "Oh, now that we're done talking about Tarkov, here's what you can do while you're sitting in queue for your transit raids." But it doesn't really work anymore. But here's 5 more games now. For this, some of them I have like a bunch of games to get through, and I was telling Giga I have been playing so much Deadlock that I can't possibly pull myself away to play um Tarkov at the moment. Someone said that something so true in the Deadlock video that was like, uh Deadlock is a game for unemployed people. I'm like, yep, that's so true. Okay, so Rainbreaker. Let me tell you about this game. Do you like Hades? Yes.
It looks like Hades.
Yeah. Do you like muscular women? Do you like, I don't know, feminist punk stuff? This might be the game for you. I played a little bit. It was pretty cool. It was like, I mean, yeah, you're just like this muscle mommy with like this giant key lance thing that's like powered by like an engine or something, and like it goes on cooldown, and yeah, like wait for it to like unoverheat. It's a cool game. It's really cheap right now too, like $5. It seemed fine. Definitely something on my wish list. Like it's actually in my cart. I just like it's genuinely the
Hmm.
problem of like I'm just like so obsessed about Deadlock right now. I just like can't pull myself away, except for like the times where I'm like in bed on my laptop playing these. I got this new like fondness for these like very simple games that are like borderline, like they play themselves. Like you don't act like you press like 2 buttons, but you're just like making
Hmm.
decisions. So this game is called
Yeah.
He Is Coming, and it's a very basic game. It's essentially an RPG auto battler, and you have like this overworld exploration on like a 2D map, and you just move around and you collect chests. You pick an item, like there's shows you three items. You pick one of three. You fight a boss. There's like multiple day night cycles, and there's like three stages, and you fight the final boss, whatever. And each, it's kind of like it's really is a roguelike. You unlock achievements, which gets you more, loot drops of different stuff, and you have different builds. But yeah, what I like about it is each boss is like its own puzzle to solve. Like one of them is like
Mm.
he doesn't attack, but each turn he gains thorns, and that keeps stacking. And thorns basically, when you deal damage to him, you take the number of stacks thorns that he has. So if it's like that's if you have a build that's like you take a really long time for your damage to, maybe you're like super
Yeah.
tanky, but you have little damage. That's not a good build. So like you gotta change your build mid game. And then you can like combine items into a stronger item, but you need two of the same. So it's like, do you hold on to there's a lot of different decision makings, and there's a fog of war. It's a very simple game, but like I mean I've already sunk like 5 hours into it. Like it's just yeah, I like these types of games. Fun to me.
That's cool. It looks a little bit like a more developed version of that game I was talking about like a couple of weeks ago, a Dark Room, which is that like
Okay.
web-based kind of like semi-clicker type game. It actually looks a bit like this, sort of.
Oh, an art
Sort of
style.
a similar, kind of like the overworld sort of looks the same in some
Okay.
ways. Obviously, it's more like ASCII based. It's like even more basic, a Dark
I
Room,
see, I
because
see.
again, it's in browser, right? And it's been like a long time since it was released, but yeah, similar sort of vibes, kind of cool. It also reminds me a little bit of Final Fantasy IV. Final Fantasy IV is kind of like Game Boy esque graphics, right? It's like really,
Mhm.
really old school. But Final Fantasy IV was probably one of the only Final Fantasies that I've played where the bosses are like that. Like they've got weird mechanics where you have to kind of like, you can't just like a click your way through the game.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to like think about it, and it's like, oh, the boss might be like made of multiple parts. You have to like kill this bit first, or but there's like different resistances. Like Final Fantasy IV was one of the most interesting Final Fantasies that I've played, actually. It's also the earliest one that I've played, but it was highly recommended, is why I picked it up. I think it's only like 12 hours long or something. So I
Hmm.
emulated it and played it like many years ago, but it was actually a good game. So it sort of reminds me a little bit like those two, just on the vibe of this thing, which is kind of neat.
That's neat. Yeah. I just saw on the slides it has asynchronous multiplayer, which I did not know. I
Oh,
I might have to check that out. That's kind of interesting. But anyways, yeah, this king or he is coming. Next game. So this game is not this. Well, probably you probably know this game, Inscription. I've been putting off playing this game forever, and I finally played it, and it was extremely good. Like I was kind of my hesitation with playing it was this is just one of the like Five Nights at Freddy's kind of like style of games. It's like, oh, spooky stuff. You're
mm,
supposed to be scared, and it's a card game. Like,
yeah.
it feels like gimmick. But just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover or a video game by its footage. Okay, I mean, I don't know. You just gotta play it. It's got a really cool story. Story Rich is like an excellent describer, and the actual gameplay. It has a little bit of blend of like the classic, late '90s, maybe like mid '90s, but those like adventure point and click games where like I think Myst is one that's fairly
Hmm.
popular, but you're just like in this 2D painted world, or you just click around and you got to solve puzzles. There's a little bit of that there, but then there's the card game aspect, and it's like a roguelike, and I don't know, it was really cool. And it's got the whole story, and you play different types of games and um variants and stuff. And yeah, it was a very good game. Very cool too.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that, but I've not played it. But I've only heard good things.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, definitely
Have you
worth.
finished it, or are you partway through? You're playing
I've
the. It's
I've
not a demo or anything, right?
no, I've played it. I've probably put in probably like 20 hours. Because then there's I guess at later maybe at launch or at some point they added like a replayability mode
Hmm.
where they take one segment of the game and like make some gameplay changes and some additional trials you can do to it to make it, more challenging. And because really, you're supposed to win with the story aspect, because you can't really tell a story if you can't progress, right? So like
Yeah.
yeah, so they kind of like strip away some of that stuff a little bit. And yeah, I mean, like this, I think it's called like Casey's Mod. I don't know why exactly, but yeah, that segment is just like perfectly good on its own as a game. It works. So yeah, it's pretty neat. Next one, Technoplasm. Okay. Do you like Ultra Kill? Do you like fighting games also in first person? Do you like, I don't know, techno? You'll like Technoplasm. Okay, so you play as this, I think you're like it's in a cyberpunk universe, which I'm already like in for the ride. I think you play as like a sex bot something who's like gained free will or something. I don't know. So you're like this badass sex bot that's like beating up
Wild.
street thugs. Yeah. And I don't typically like first person melee combat. Like it's just never really felt good to me.
Hmm.
But there is a lot of mechanics in this. I'll be honest. I played it. I didn't do a lot of reading when it was trying to tutorialize me. I was like, I'm a gamer. Yep. And I definitely got my ass kicked. So I did learn a few things the hard way, but I would definitely need to play this again. The really cool part about this game, so I mean, it mixes in melee and weapon combat, and there's a lot of movement stuff. It's very reminiscent of Ultra Kill, but the music is so good. You know how music is important to me, and I found out this developer, Mothership Loudspeaker, is actually a musician as well. He makes his own music. And I
Oh,
was like,
sweet.
"That's why the music's so good." And he's got another game, which I was like, "Whoa!" And I just think that's really cool. Like, just sort of like branching out their own like creativity and stuff. And yeah, I don't know, just something about this game is like it's it's got like a classic vibe to it. Very 90s. You can kind of see like the ultra kill aspect to it, but I don't know. It's just like for me, I liked it. Definitely gonna play this again.
Nice.
All right. Did you play? I know you said you were PlayStation last time. Team PlayStation. PS2, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you play any of the
Well,
Jack?
PS1 and PS2.
Okay. Did you play any of the Jack games? Was it Jack and Daxter?
I played a demo of one. I don't think I actually had it, but I did play a bit of one of them. Yeah, I have some experience. Like platformery kind of like
Yeah.
type game.
Yeah, because I think the first one's just called Jack something, and then it became Jack and Daxter, or whatever. This game, Gear Grit. Okay. I played it. It's in well, I played the demo, and there is no release date. It was, I could tell it was still being developed, but I mean, it is just like straight up Jack 3 in like in the modern day. I mean, it's just like it's amazing because like I think Jack 3 was the only game I played, which that one was, if you're unfamiliar, it was like trying to be like edgy. I think it was because GTA was getting really popular at the time, so they kind of like introduced GTA like mechanics where you had like a bubbling city, and like you could steal cars and drive around and stuff, and then you had like this evil Jack. I don't know if there's that in there, but yeah. Anyways, I like the character design. It's just like a little gremlin looking ass thing. She got like a really cool gun slash hand thing. I mean, if you liked Jack, specifically Jack 3, from like the PS2 era, like just add this game to your wish list because it is like one to one. There's some really cool, like, honestly, I found the movement mechanics kind of difficult. I think it's maybe a skill issue on the controller, but you can do like this kick. Basically, you jump up to a height and then you like do a spinny kick thing, and then
Hmm.
that launches you up for. I don't know. I mean, I can't really describe it. It's just it's you like I said, you like Jack and Daxter, you're gonna like this. And yeah, that's kind of that's it for the games. You know, that's kind of it.
Cool. Good.
That's the
Yeah,
game.
with the wipe, I've not had any chance to play anything else. So
Yeah.
everything else is just on hold right now. But you reminded me a bit about with music, about how I found something surprising about like Hunt Showdown. They basically got like a band who like makes all the music for Hunt. They're
Oh,
called
I
Port
don't know that.
Sulphur. And they have like it's like their own like in-house band. Who makes Hunt Showdown again? Is it Crytek? I can't remember.
That's the engine.
Which dev is it?
I'm not sure.
Original development Crytek. Yeah, it is Crytek.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's Crytek. Yeah, but yeah, so they got like an in-house band there, and they make all the music. I was like originally I was like, man, why is the music in this game like? There's like no right to be as banging as it is.
Really,
Especially for like especially for the kind of the genre as well, because it's just like, you know, like Wild West kind of cowboy kind of vibe to it, and it's all kind of like, you know, honky tonk piano kind of like really like funky music. I was like, man, it's really really good actually.
Huh.
It's got like cracky music, and yeah, when I was doing the video for it actually, because I did like a video for playing Hunt, and they were like, oh yeah, you can use any of the music from the game, like all comes from this band here. You just download it, just use it. If it's to do with Hunt, you can just use it all for free, like no worries. I was just like, man, that's sick. And I like looked at, they got the Spotify page. I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's like awesome. They put enough resources into it. They've got their own like dedicated like band basically that makes music for like their various games. I was like, wow, that's sick.
That's cool. Yeah.
Mm.
Didn't know that. I don't even remember. Like, I might have turned off the music, which I know is probably like heresy. I'm saying, but I know. I don't even remember the music at all when I played it for a couple hours recently.
All my friends turn off music in all the games, and I'm just like, how could you?
It just
How
depends.
could you
Like,
do this? This is the experience the developer
I
intended, you
know.
heathens.
Like, I was probably getting overwhelmed because the UI stuff, and like I'm very weird. Like, if I'm playing your game and your UI fucking giant, taking up like if your game was meant to be played on like a 52-inch plasma screen, you have like giant buttons on the sides. Like, it's overwhelming to me, you know. For me, like I need like the small, clean aesthetic, you know. So
Yeah,
if it's any of that
fair.
stuff, I'm just like, sensory overload. Like, I could cut off my friends are talking in Discord. That's too much. How do I join the lobby? How do I invite you?
Yeah, I'm notorious within my friends group. I'm notorious for basically just being like, I don't click the buttons. Like I'm not making a party.
I like that.
I'm not adding anybody. I'm not joining anything. I don't press the buttons. Like I just get sent a request to do this stuff. I'm just like, screw that. I don't press the lobby buttons. No way. I'm not doing that. It's like really funny. Like everyone else is just like, why? It's just so weird. I'm like, don't know.
Giga's like, it's your problem. You want to play with me? Invite me.
I just played that manifested.
Nope.
That actually manifested on stream the other day because me and Spinman were trying to do some testing with like the random changes they'd made to the optics, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, just like go into court mode, like start queuing for court mode." I'm just like, I have like no idea how to do that. Like, I don't even know where to press that in this game. Like I never play with anybody here. Like I don't press the buttons in the menus. Like I don't even know how. So people were just like, it's like, you know, boomer dad like hands phone over, like, you just do it for me. You know, it's like.
Yeah.
I'm so like that with multiplayer lobby options. I don't know why. It's something specific about that. So I'm just like, I'm not dealing with this. Like, you can invite me.
Like, Giga, just click accept invite. Like, I'm not pressing it. I'm not touching it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
Good times. Well, I look forward to next week's cast. See what's changed. What's, you know, new adventures you've gone on. I'm really glad you're enjoying this, taking it in for all its glory, not cutting yourself out of the experience.
Indeed. Still playing the arena stuff, you know, seeing what's going on over there. There's a new quest line actually in arena, which is like you get a new weapon skin or something over there. So I'll probably do that at some point. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like trying to enjoy it. It's actually, I would actually say it's probably kind of harder to make content this way in some ways, because with being like trader locked and stuff, it's like there's only so much you can do. You can't make it like any interesting builds, and the builds you're gonna make it's based on what you pick up. So it's
Yeah.
like there's no guide for that. You just have to like make do with what you find. So it's definitely different from a content perspective as well.
I mean, you got to do a guide about how to find the parts, where to find weapon
Yeah, this
parts.
is the thing. I was like, yeah, let's do a guide about like killing the bosses. Like 4 hours later, I'm just like head on the desk, have died 3 times to separate bosses and haven't killed any of them once. It's just like, okay, maybe this is. I'm cooked here.
Maybe you could do you could do like guides on how to get a Clin, how to take this one item and turn it into a gun. That's a thumbnail.
Yeah, I already
right
did that.
there. But you did do it for the Clin, or did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
I did
I
it
didn't
for the
watch the
Clin.
trader one. Okay, that's why.
Oh, yeah. So the next one, I'm probably going to do like the efficiency kits video because a lot of people have actually already been asking, like, oh, where's the efficiency kits video? So that's going to be like the press armor, like assemble Exordia, and then the class 3 armor comes out the other end. I love that phrase from you.
Yeah.
I use it fairly often.
Yeah, it's a good one. What's another one I just had was like shucks. Oh, like how do you get out of the pit? Like when you're broke
Hmm.
or broke, maybe you could do something like there. I don't know.
What do you mean? Oh, I see. Like that's a video idea.
Yeah.
Like how to go from rock bottom. Yeah, maybe.
Just don't suck. Have you tried
Skill
not
machine.
sucking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, Hardcore Gunsmith is kind of a vibe. I'm redoing the series for that because it's just like can't buy anything from the fleet, so you got to barter everything or find it. So it's like, what's the minimum viability of things you need to find to get the gunsmith builds to work? I'm like, it's actually quite different. I'd mentioned it, and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm glad you're doing it this way. I'm stuck on Gunsmith Part 2 because I don't have a 60 rounder, so I'm just like, great start. I'm like, I've done Gunsmith Part 1, I've released that one. I'm just like, right, oh yeah, 60 rounder for the MP5. Oh, okay. Sorry, for the AK-74U. And I was like, oh, what about Gunsmith Part? Oh, yes, another 50 rounder for the MP5. Just like, crap. So, okay, well, I can't do either of those at the moment, but yeah, I have to figure out how to get access to those. Because normally you just wait until, well, I need the lavatory, so I'm going to get lavatory to level 2, hopefully at some point, and it's probably going to be my next focus, try and do that. And then without Peacekeeper 2, it's actually very difficult to do the MP5 one. So where'd you get the MP5 SD from? Like, naturally, with a 50 rounder.
The only place
it's not something you find.
Is like the Raiders in Reserve in the Underground. Sometimes they'll have MP5 magazines for the 30 50 rounders.
Yeah, with like laser match in it and stuff. Yeah,
but yeah, otherwise
it's quite rare though.
Yeah, I mean, hidden weapon crates is about it.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Hard to do that otherwise.
But until next time, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Catch you later.